My double kick skills.
Yeah. What double kick skills? Yeah. That's what I would get at home. You played long enough. Your son's the drummer now.
Turning over the reins.
Not yet.
Indeed. Yeah, you're still crushing it.
I didn't teach him everything.
I taught him everything he knows on everything
exactly,
I know.
That's what I tell you. I got some tricks. I still got some tricks up my old sleeve.
I bet. All right, motherfuckers. So if you haven't put it together yet, we got in the studio with us one of the best drummers in fucking, I don't know, in Michigan, in the fucking region for sure. Absolute powerhouse behind the kit. I'm a huge fan of your playing, dude. Without hyperbole, this guy's a world-class fucking drummer. I really appreciate your playing. I've seen you play 3 times now, and I really want to talk about the second time, which was Tony Piccoli's 40th birthday, because a lot of eventful things happened that night. It was a blast of a night. But so welcome to the podcast, Pat. Pat DeLeon. Hey. It is DeLeon, right?
It is.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah.
I thought so.
Yeah, you've done some homework.
Well, not really. I think it's way cooler to say it that way.
Well, that's what I always thought. But oh my god, it's been butchered.
Plus, you could sign it P DeLeon.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah.
Come on.
Absolutely.
Capitalize on that Ponce fame for sure.
Why would you not be leaning into that?
I did. But that was my dad's nickname before it was mine. And then when I was first starting out playing, they started calling me that, and I was just like, Dad, he's like, well, that's all right. They used to call me Sonny, so. I said, well, then I'm going to take your nickname for a while, and he was like, oh, that's cool. And after a while, I started thinking it was kind of corny. I was like,
oh, you got to do it, man.
Passed down from generation to generation.
I'm like, I'm good. I think I'm good. I'll just go by Pat now,
Seeking the fountain of youth, right?
Oh, sure.
Isn't that what he was doing?
I'm going to call my studio.
That's funny, actually.
Yeah.
That's really funny.
I'll do that. I'm okay doing that.
Nice. Are you building a studio or something, or just
something similar to yours?
Yeah.
Hopefully, I guess at some point. We rehearse there in my basement.
Sure.
My son's band rehearses literally right next to where we do, and we thought, let's just put it all together, and we'll throw some mics around, and at the very least, we'll have demo quality stuff that we can get.
Yeah.
And if we need to go somewhere nicer, do something bigger, we'll just go there,
The quality of shit you can do at home now, too, is just crazy, man.
Find a good drum room. As a drummer, Find a good drum room, record your tracks.
That's fucking...
And then you can go anywhere.
And you can even do, so many guys now will do, they'll, work in a space like this, or what you're talking about, and, record everything, and then basically go back into just record the drums in a big... studio or something, There's so many ways to approach it, but I mean, the kind of quality of sound that I'm getting out of my dad's basement and what I'm going to get here, and what me and Nick have pulled out of his for where you guys recorded in his fucking living room.
Yeah.
So much of it is fucking... A lot of it's just fucking the mics and and it just all that stuff too. So I mean, you can just do so much now that it's
there's so much outboard gear, more now than ever. And so as long as the drums are tuned, and they sound good, and you get a good, you get a good raw track, you're fine.
Yeah.
The only thing is, and as a drummer, once you tear them down, though, that's it. You know what I mean?
You got to make sure you got it in the can.
Get everything, and the guys, we're gonna record the guitar tracks weren't that good. We're gonna record them again, and you're like. You know what I mean? You just roll your eyes like, that would have been super cool. If I could just go downstairs. That one take I had was really cool. It's going to have to stand the test of time,
What's the neighbor situation there? Are you the most hated guy on the block? Or you got that bad boy pretty well
that's a funny thing you should ask, because we haven't really tried that yet. And I think we're going to have to, because I had an elderly couple that lived on one side of my house, and the back is like woods, so I don't have to worry about that. On the other side, I had this, we call her a crazy lady, but she's actually she's a sweet old lady, but she's one of those neighbors that you're like, you're kind of like, I'm just going to go the other way here, But we do stuff for her all the time. I fix a whole bunch of stuff in her house. Anyway, none of the elderly people ever complained about the noise and all the band practices that we've had. So this one... her husband had passed away, and then sometime later she decided that she's going to move to something smaller, that she can manage. So a young couple moves in, and I'm like, sweet, young people,
party.
They got 3 kids, but the kids are young.
That's probably what it is. The kid.
That's what the problem was. Now I'm getting texts from the dude, and he's like, the bass is kind of loud, and I'm like,
it's like,
thankfully now but see, here's the thing though. with us, and I don't know if you know how our live setup is we run
Mostly
everything
in-ears?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
run everything in-ears. So if you come by our house while my band's practicing, it just sounds like
Just the
drum
drums.
practice.
Yeah.
Which is great. So he doesn't really have a problem with that.
Yeah.
My son's band, on the other hand,
They got the cabs. and everything.
that's where the bass
yeah.
comes in, because they're heavy like we are,
Yeah.
and they're young. That new metal, not really new metal, actually. I give them more credit than that, but they're good. And I hate to crush that, but I gotta text, dude. They're my new neighbors. I want to be cool to them. They're good people.
Get off on the right foot.
You want to be cool, but also you got to rock and roll,
Oh,
baby.
dude. I'm like, any other person. Like, I was really hoping he'd be like a jerk, and I could just tell him, well, there's always the cops.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can have them deal with it. But
The cops are huge ISD fans anyway. So.
They're like super good people. So I'm like,
Yeah,
all right,
yeah.
fine. I'll go crush my child's dreams so your kid can wake up for school tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's acoustics from here on out, Junior.
But see, like you said, we haven't even tried to, like, soundproof anything. We haven't even done that. It's a
Yeah.
typical basement, concrete walls.
Yep.
So I think with very little effort, we could probably make it doable for that. And we've literally just got everything kind of set up. We had an idea for an ISD concept album, and because it's not going to be like original stuff, all covers, just for fun. And we thought, well, let's record that down here.
Yeah.
And then that way we'll see what we can do.
It gives you a reason.
For sure.
You know?
Oh,
to,
yeah,
to
we
work
need
it
that.
up.
We need that.
Yeah, for sure. Now you're working toward a goal instead of just like, yeah, I'm just fucking down here putting in insulation.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Please give me a reason. Give me a reason.
Roll after roll of Pink Panther to say
For sure.
I used to swim in that stuff back in the day.
That's what I'm going to be doing down here,
Oh,
man.
that
It's
shit's harsh,
coming.
man. You start
It's
getting
being
that in the
delivered.
skin.
I'm just going to be fucking putting it in the ceiling. Those walls, like I was saying, they're just bare studs behind there. I'm just going to be fucking, I'm going to town, dude. I'm putting it in because I don't want that fucking furnace like I was showing you. It's loud,
that's going to be
like,
rough, dude, because it's that right on the other side.
right
man.
on the other side. I know. So it'll be what it'll be.
Just get out some space heaters and turn the damn thing
Man
off.
up, dude. Yeah.
I got to man
Plug
up.
in the electric.
It might go that way during the
Recording
winter.
season is
Put on that Under Armour cold gear.
we record April through September. Don't ask why.
That's right.
You know.
And I got this space, so we're doing the podcast in, but we can record in here too. And then the space right behind you is the Three Seasons room that sounds amazing. It's all I'll show it to you after this. It's all fucking cedar. The high ceiling.
no doubt.
So like I want to be doing, you can do acoustic guitars, you could do a drum kit in there, like a small drum kit. Fucking I don't know. I'm envisioning I got like the fucking full congas and bongos and all.
Oh, you got all that stuff?
I got everything, bro.
See,
everything.
I every time I thought about getting that stuff together, and then I thought, you're not going to want, I don't want to say crap, but you're not going to want stuff that you can afford or that you can't afford.
Right.
Like anything I can
Yeah.
afford, I probably won't want. I'd be like, oh man, I saw that Louis Conti set, at the store, and it's like, dude, how often are you going to play? Justify that purchase,
But it's going to look tremendous.
It's gonna look amazing.
Tremendous. Yeah.
Surprisingly, dude, the congas have been a fucking they're on shit, dude. Because and you keep them out, keep them mic'd up. Surprisingly, amount of congas
For
going on
sure.
shit, dude. Like
That's what
like,
I'm scared of, though. You know what I mean? It's like next thing you know, I look like the backup guy for Santana. You know what I mean? Shit,
You're saying that like it's a bad thing, bro.
I'm not saying it. I'm just saying
Gotta do it.
I mean, in case my wife is listening.
One can only hope to be badass.
yeah.
To be the backup Santana Congo
Oh,
player.
dude.
Sure, dude.
When I was a kid, that's all that mattered. I used to so I'm Mexican, half Mexican. I go to my cousin's house in Mount Clemens, and there was like 3 or 4 families of Mexicans, and so the summer parties back in the late 70s and early 80s, it was like half the music was either, if my grandpa got a hold of the music, it was all Mexican polka.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if the teens got a hold of it, like one of the houses was always like more teens than adults and stuff, and that was all like Santana was like half of the music
man.
was
Oh,
Santana.
I love Santana,
or War, or any of those bands in the 70s and
dude.
stuff, and it was just like that's how I grew up.
Hell yeah.
Listening to all that stuff, and I was just like, this is just oh man, it was great.
Yeah.
growing
Yeah.
up on that.
Fuck yeah, dude. Santana's a shit. I mean, like I was reaching out to a guitarist. I got a song I'm trying to finish, and I'm trying to get. I could do it, but I'm trying to collaborate with people, and so I'm like, I'm trying to find somebody to come in and do a Santana solo.
Yeah.
But
Good luck.
Well,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
The
it's
guy
like,
plays like himself. You know,
That's true.
That's
That's true.
why
Yeah,
he is who he is. You know.
Yeah, and this guy, so my buddy, it's actually Jake, other Jake from Jace versus Jake. He's a sick guitarist. He's like, yeah, I can do it. But then he goes, you know who you should get? My dad. He goes, my dad is the sickest Santana soloist. He's like been playing Santana all these years.
No
so
kidding.
I'm like, yeah, just bring in Pops, man.
Yeah,
If he's
yeah.
gonna crush it, I'm all about it, you know? So
Oh, that would be awesome.
yeah, so it's just kind of hilarious.
The guy just rips on
Yeah,
nothing
no,
but
exactly.
Santana.
That's what I'm saying.
Can't play
You
anything
gotta
else.
love- you gotta love
Just
the differential
dominates those
props from the
leads.
youngster to say, no,
You know
dad's
any
the
like
director.
Doors music? No, I don't know
Yeah.
anything but Santana.
Nothing but Santana.
That's it. That's like a Santana savant. You know, like Carlos Savant.
No, I'm actually more of a fan of the Rob Thomas Santana collaboration
the
years
late
personally.
2010 or whatever.
Jesus
I like that
Christ.
song. You don't like that song?
God,
It's a good
no.
song, but it's just
And
a
they
pop. It's
beat
like
the
on.
shit out of
it's
that
like a
song.
pop song with Carlos. It's
Bro,
like it's
yeah.
you
And
know.
it was all
He wrote
they
that for
played
the Rolling
all day,
Stones.
every day.
Did he really?
Yeah, Rob Thomas wrote that for the Rolling Stones, and
Wow.
they didn't do it. And then he ended up, obviously, they did it on that.
Yeah, he did okay with it.
They did all right.
Yeah,
I
from
mean,
what I hear,
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Yes. You
So I've
couldn't
got
get away
Keith
from
Richards to thank for having to hear that song every goddamn day of senior year or whatever that shit was out.
Yeah, like if the Stones would have done it, it would have probably held some cool factor.
Yeah.
You know, but now it's just like, oh god, it's that Rob Thomas song.
I remember I heard it the first time I heard that song. It was on MTV at like 3 a.m. I was like fucking up, you know, doing whatever. And I was like in high school at the time.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is a fucking good song. And I had the video and everything. But I never, ever would have suspected that it would have become that kind of fucking smash hit, dude. Like,
Well, I mean, what Matchbox 20, right? That was his
Yeah,
gig, and
yeah.
then they were
huge then,
They were
too,
cresting,
so-
so
Yeah, yeah.
just about anything he was going to do was going to be big,
yeah.
and then you fucking
And it's a good song. And it has
Wasn't the
video
whole album
and-
like with guest
Yes,
special
yeah,
guests? So
yeah,
I mean,
yeah, yeah.
where's the miss? You know what I
Exactly.
mean?
You're right. And it
you know,
was
and
dead
thankfully
on.
it had a cool guitar solo. You know,
Yep.
it could have been worse.
It was
you know?
good. I had the album too, you know, like
Yeah.
my dad was into it. It was supernatural. I had it. But then Santana just kept doing it. He did like 4 more of those guest singer
Yeah.
albums, you know. And it's just like, all right, man, maybe it's like time to like, you know,
Yeah.
just do like a classic Santana album or something like.
I followed him right up until like he started drifting into that thing, and I was
Yeah.
like, man, this just now you're just like a pop guy.
In
you know?
fairness, though, the money
getting
was
fat
probably
paid.
Well,
pretty-
yeah, man, but who am I to tell
At that
Carlos
time,
what
yeah.
to do?
Yeah,
I'm
indeed.
just looking for more of that deep, dark,
Yeah.
you know,
Motherfucker
like-
played Woodstock,
yeah,
dude, you know?
yeah.
Like,
as an acid, he was tripping.
Yeah,
that,
dude.
Oh, yeah. That story is just so amazing.
out of his gourd. So his
Oh my
guitar
God!
was
He
coming
gets
to
on
life.
stage
right? He
and
thought
it's
it was
like
a
my
snake.
guitar is a snake. And I'm like, dude, you're like 17. You have no clue what's going on in the world. Probably
out
got
of his
paid like
gourd,
$150.
yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Oh my God! And then Soul Sacrifice, one of the greatest drum solos, you know, on that.
Oh, okay. I actually don't know that.
Oh, geez. Listen to
Yeah.
the Soul Sacrifice
All
from
right.
the Woodstock album. That Michael Shreve. I think it was so Michael Shreve. Yeah, I think it was Michael Shreve, and just I mean, playing like he's on like just laced out on coke. You know, I mean,
Yeah,
just
yeah.
hands are just flying. You know, and again, you look at the band. God, look. The band, those lineups, it looked like, you know, a couple of offshoots from Sly and the Family Stone.
Yeah, yeah,
You know,
yeah.
it's just like, and I think
They
I
all
don't
went
know
out
if
to form Journey, didn't they?
wasn't. I was just
from-
gonna say, was
from Santana's band.
I think Greg Rowley was on keyboards.
Okay.
And I don't know if they got that cat. I didn't believe I can't remember the guitar player from Journey. Neil Schon.
yes,
I don't know if
yeah,
Neil
yeah.
was in the band yet or not.
right.
You know, but yeah, Jesus.
Because my I don't know a ton about either of those bands, and as far as going that deep, but my understanding is that Santana's band,
Yeah.
backup band, basically all like quit Santana and formed Journey. You know,
That was like the later. I know that Neil and Greg Rowley came from the Santana band.
Yeah.
Now I don't know why they left or
Yeah.
what was going on or
I
whatever.
heard that fucking Neil Scone. I think he's kind of a prick or something, and him and Santana got into it, and they fucking like got into some big pissing match.
Yeah.
And, you know,
That wouldn't. I mean, I've heard things about Carlos
Yeah.
is that sometimes he can be a bit hard to work with. I've heard
Yeah.
stories of producers. I don't know about the truth. Obviously, I've never met the guy, but
yeah.
but like I've heard stories again, like even in the most recent thing with the Journey roller coaster. Like, who's in the band? Who are we suing? Who are we not suing? Who are we going to have back? We're not going to talk to that guy anymore. Oh, the drummer beat his wife, so we're going to kick him out. But we're going to have him back now because he's clean. And it's like,
I really tapped out on Journey after the Randy Jackson years. I was
that's true.
All downhill from there.
That was not a horrible record. It was just a horrible lineup.
He's playing with him again, I think.
He
maybe.
is. He is bad. Well, they got rid of Ross Valerie because they fired him or something.
Yeah.
I mean, wow, man.
Yeah.
Wow.
What's your take on the replacement singer? What are your thoughts on that guy?
The Asian dude?
Yeah.
Filipino?
I have, like, you have the greatest, like, when you have to replace a singer, you have situations where you get a guy that sounds exactly like him, like when Judas Priest got Ripper Owens for a little bit. You basically got a Judas Priest sound-alike.
Yep.
But then you get a band like AC/DC, who has like their biggest album ever with Highway to Hell. He dies. So what do? They do not go with a guy that sounds just like Bon Scott. Yeah. They got a guy that sounds almost as far away from Bon Scott and literally get even more popular with Brian Johnson.
Right.
How lucky is that? But all these other bands, it's like they just go looking.
That's a tough call. Like, do you get the low rent version of the last guy, or do you just say, fuck it, we're going?
I mean, Journey, at this point, like, you're not going to be making like new hits. You need somebody that can sing these songs because you're going out and playing the hits. Like, like, you got to have somebody that can do.
You might as well just get the closest sounding guy you can find and let him go.
Fucking chops. You're not like. I'm a pretty decent singer. I'm not going out there singing Steve Perry.
Oh, hell
every
no.
night, you know what I mean? Like,
you really got to cup the balls to hit that range.
I'm the kind of singer that can't even sing background vocals in Journey. I mean, I can sing kind of, maybe, sort of. And it's funny with ISD, it's like the first band, and I can't even remember how long I came into the band knowing that I wouldn't have to sing.
Oh, yeah.
Because they were like, well, Pete
the three
sings.
Parts.
Yeah, 4. I mean, Pete sings, Scott sings, Tony sings, Brian sings. And I'm like, well, can I not, if we're going to do this prog thing.
Can I just be a drummer?
Can I just not worry about singing? Because to be quite honest with you, it's not that it's tedious, but I just thought it'd be super cool to just concentrate on playing drums.
Focus on one thing.
And not have to worry about anything else. Am I against singing? Like on the new album, I would be fine singing if I needed to.
Doing the gang vocal.
But man, I kind of like it. I'll be honest with you. It's been a long time since I've...
When you had to sing back in the day, were you singing like backup while you're playing drums, or were you just laying down the tracks? Like
Okay. Yeah, I sang... I mean, I was in the top 40... well, we'll take it back. When I was 16, I started playing professionally, and I would do what we called stunt vocals. So if there was a song or a band and it, like AC/DC or Judas Priest, where we know that you're just going to blow your voice out because we didn't sing right, so we didn't know how to sing. So one shot through like one of those songs and you're pretty much trashed for the night. So I would like volunteer for those songs. So I had a little bit of a better, I have a lot more range back then, and I could pull them off. And again, I was playing competently enough to where I felt like, no problem, I can do this. I can totally do this. So I did it. And then as time went on and I started taking singing more seriously, then it was just like, all right, now I got to really concentrate on the vocals. And then I was taking on more songs. And my memory for drum parts, fine. My memory for lyrics.
Lyrics is tough. I'm the same. I'm the same way, actually.
I am god awful.
Yeah.
But if I take a lyric sheet, a cheat sheet, and I keep it off to the side, I'll never learn the song.
True. That's true, too.
You know what I mean?
I do.
I'll be like this all night long looking at the cheat sheet.
Yep.
And then, like, one night, I remember doing this for a top 40 gig one time, and I had like 4 or 5 songs, and 3 or 4 of them I was totally cool with. And one of them was a newer song that we were learning, and I wasn't really that sharp, and I lost my cheat sheet. And I was just like, that fight or flight, just start.
Oh, fuck, what's the third line of the...
Start the first line. I'm like, I think I actually asked the singer, what's the first line?
I know
like,
that.
I'm literally...
I know that exactly.
How do you not know the first line of the song that you're singing?
But when you hear the first line, then you can like...
And then the words just literally just start falling out. And that's how it went. And I was just like, so what I got to do is I got to write the lyrics. I don't just print them out, like write them out. And that motion of doing that...
I was going to tell you that's a trick, a memory trick, to write the lyrics down.
And that's what I would do. I would take my time and write them out. By the time I got done writing them out, I'd already committed them like 60% to memory.
Right.
And then night after night after night, when I was doing a top 40 gig, I mean, I don't know if you've ever played that circuit or you're just playing all the time. You're playing all the time. You're playing 2 nights, 3 nights a week. Back in the day, I was doing 7 nights at this one club. They actually booked us for 7 nights in a row, and a band after them canceled. So we played 14 dates in a row. 10 to 2 in the morning.
That's how the Beatles got good.
3 sets a night. Good. But you know what? I mean, we were playing to about this room.
Yeah, well,
you know what I mean? It was like the drunk guy at the end watching Monday Night Football telling us to shut up, you know, because, dude, you're too loud. It's like,
Steelers are on, goddamn it.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty comical back in the day. But the bar, it was called the Rusty Nail in Fraser.
Sorry, but that's one of my old nicknames.
Oh, really? It was a great bar, but their claim to fame back then was 7 nights a week live entertainment. Good or bad, 7 nights a week live entertainment.
What year is this?
Oh gosh, this is 90 or late 80s, early 90s.
Nice, yeah. So that's probably about one of my favorite.
And I
eras
was
of music,
that era. I was just, I was just making money. I just wanted to make money and just play out as much as I could.
Yeah.
I tried to, I just tried to make myself available to anybody that needed, a drummer. But I didn't want to be that guy that was just constantly floating around,
band whoring,
just taking gigs. I liked being in a band.
Yeah.
Because the stability of that was way better. And then as you got better, you could ask for more money from certain clubs, if you kept going back there. So, if you were always that hired gun, man, you were only going to make X amount of dollars. You didn't know who you were playing with. You didn't even know if the band was any good. Most of the time, you didn't even reherse.
Yeah.
They just sent you the set list, and then you'd be like, all right, I'm here. All right, girl, here's what we're going to start with. And you're
That's
like,
the gig.
Oh, boy, here we go, I remember a friend of mine, he's a great drummer, Randy Jordan, phenomenal drummer, and I had him sit in for me one night because I was double booked. I would try to play with an original band along with cover bands so that I could. Yeah. I always try to have.
It's a good
both.
way to do it. Yeah.
And I almost never double booked myself. But if something came up, and like as a matter of fact, I was playing with Kansas we were opening. I was in a band called Tiles, and we opened up for Kansas at Pine Knob.
Nice.
And I had a gig that night, so I asked my friend Randy. Randy charted every song on our set list.
Yeah, that's a lot.
3 sets. Actually, not all of them. A handful of the ones that he didn't know. He charted. And I went and I saw, the show was over. Obviously, Pine Knob, you're done at 10:30 or something like that. So we got loaded up and I was like, you know what? I'm going to go and see the band, hang out, the afterglow, which is a real letdown, let me tell you. I mean, you get done playing Pine Knob and then I'm going to go to the corner bar now and afterglow. It's just like, this is what I'm doing tomorrow. So and I see Randy, he's got a music stand behind him. And I'm like, man, you're in a corner bar. Why you got a music stand behind you at a corner bar? But Randy's the guy that can take any gig anywhere. Yeah. And he'd be that guy that would set up his music stand and set up his music, and he'd be right there. Like, he'd probably know the song better than, because he's playing it verbatim, and it's like, you don't even play it verbatim, you know what I mean? You like take your liberties left and right. But it was funny because the guys in the band were like, man, he was playing that song super slow. I said, you know why? He's like, why? He said, he's literally playing it exactly.
The correct tempo.
Exactly like the album states.
On the album, not the live version.
He's assuming that you guys are professional to do it that way. It's like, we never play anything that slow. Nobody wants to sing that long. We play songs fast so that notes don't last that long.
You got to play it slow, though, so you can stretch your set out.
Yeah, that's the other time. You pay by the hour. You just stretch out the breaks. Yeah. Oh, gosh.
Every song has a 10-minute drum solo. What's happening?
And that's the thing. When I was younger, I would take, if somebody called out drum solo, I'd be like, drop of a hat. Yeah, I'm on it. Give me it. Give me the solo.
Oh, that's huge. Just do it.
Now that's the last thing I couldn't even consider. Tony, I think Tony said it at his birthday party. He goes, I'm gonna turn around.
Drum solo?
I'm gonna call drum solo, dude, and you're gonna do a drum solo. I'm like, please don't. I haven't prepared one in 100 years.
Are you gonna write one or are you gonna ad lib one?
As a drummer, you think, I'll just sit down and play one. It's like,
no, it ain't like that, really. No. Like, you got to kind of have some directions or I got
some kind of roadmap.
So roadmap. Like, I got some grooves, or I'm gonna do this and then this and go into this.
And I'll do that trick thing that always impresses people.
Yeah.
twice, maybe 3 times, depending on
my sticks a couple times,
throw them up in the air, light them on fire. No, I'm not gonna light them on fire, but just stuff like that. He's like, when he said that, I'm like, Tony, listen, our music, and this is the fun thing about playing like prog and the last handful of bands that I played in. I was in a band called Coda, and we were like really lucky to have like great players, like great chops in every song. And then Tiles is like, we got compared to Rush quite a bit, and they're another great band of players. I never felt the need. At the end of the day, it's like, I've played enough notes. You know what I mean?
I'm all
like,
set.
I really don't need to play more notes than I'm already playing, And like ISD, same thing. And I'm playing like real heavy metal stuff. And then we add enough prog to keep it interesting. At the same token, at those people that were yelling drum solo at the Pyramid Scheme.
Oh,
we were playing, and there's like a handful of people yelling drum solo. I'm like, no. Tony, don't listen. Because I'm not gonna. I'm just gonna sit here. Like nope. I was twirling my sticks a couple times.
Prepared material only.
Yeah, right. Yeah, we have a set list and a time limit.
That's right.
But yeah, so that's kind of my take on solos. Like I loved them. I hope my kid does a bunch of them, and I've never told him to stay away from it.
Yeah.
If people want to hear it, give them what they want.
It's like an art form in and of itself, though.
It is.
If you wanted to go that direction.
It's a lot of work. It's like writing a song.
Yeah, 100%. It is a mini song. That's what we're talking about. Is if you got to structure it a little bit. Like, if you're going to completely ad-lib, like, you better be a bad motherfucker.
Yeah.
And...
Because as a drummer, you watch, and we've seen guys do that, and you're like 30 seconds in, you're like, this can end anytime.
It's like, all right,
I got nothing. Running out of steam here. Running out of steam. Yeah. And then you start being, he's playing it slow. He's chopping that. Oh, he screwed that up. He screwed that up. Why would you do that? And you're like, why am I I'm literally criticizing this guy's drum solo. Like, am I that guy? I don't want to be that guy, but I'm that guy.
You could be that guy a little bit.
Because I mean, you're playing. You're forcing me to listen to you. Play off the beaten path here. And to be quite honest with you, you probably shouldn't.
So do you have guys that you're like, okay, this guy fucking knocks it out of the park solo wise? Like, do you have soloist favorite type dudes?
Well, I grew up on Neil Peart.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so like the drum solos that I heard when I was a kid, I heard Moby Dick. I was never a Cream fan, which it strikes strikes people as odd because Ginger Baker.
I agree with you. I think that whole thing's a little overrated, but
I do too. But if you really listen, I've gone back and listened to Toad. And which is his premiere. It's like his version of Moby Dick. And there's really cool stuff in there. And if you put it in time with everything else, it's comparable. But I grew up on Moby Dick. I grew up on every Neil drum fill or drum solo that he ever did.
Yeah.
And Inagata Devita.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
And when I was younger, I got into Kiss and Peter Criss's drum solos, which, again, they're very basic. They're super simple.
Yeah.
But at the time, as far as an entertainment, thing.
Right.
You can't just listen to a Peter Criss drum solo and go, man, it really wasn't all that great.
I can't really listen to Peter Criss at all.
But you have to, Kiss was such a visual thing.
100%, dude.
You can't, you know what I mean? But you can't just, like, you listen to it and you're like, no, I am not getting, I'm getting about 25% of what's going on stage right now.
Yeah.
Everybody else, though, you could put on the headphones and disappear into a John Bonham solo.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you're there side stage. You're listening to everything. You're like, oh my god, is he playing it with his left hand? Is that? I mean, is that his foot? Is that a foot? Is that a floor?
Doubles on his foot
everything he's doing is so smooth and crazy. And you're like, even when he messes up, and you hear him mess up, it's like, God, I would have trashed that. I would have just trashed that. And he's just like, he made one little mistake.
Yeah.
And then you can hear him change gears like, I've done that enough.
Yeah.
I made a little flub, know. But yeah.
I think Neil Peart, though, is like, it really was like what we were talking about, amongst other things. I mean, he's one of the greatest, or whatever.
Yeah.
But, at structuring a drum solo, like his drum solo was like a thing. It was the part of the show, and it was structured, and it'd be a little different, but it was kind of a similar, like it was like writing a song. I say he was really the master at putting together a drum solo.
If you ever hear him talk, there's that where that DVD.
Yeah,
release,
I got that DVD.
And he talks about the how he does it, and it's like, I have never in my life ever known anyone to put in the kind of thought process.
So analytical.
On a drum solo. This isn't something I'm going to record and play. This had nothing to do with that. Like all these other guys, like Terry Bozzio, when he's doing his, ostinato recordings and whatnot, he's developing works of music and recording them and putting them out. Whereas Neil's like, what I'm going to do tonight, and then next album, I thought that end piece, I'm going to change that now because they needed to evolve. He's not just going to do the same solo over and over and over again. But as drummers, we knew it so well that it was like, if you saw the one tour and then you saw the next tour, you'd be like, he didn't do that thing at the end there. He changed up that cowbell thing. Do you notice he didn't do that there?
It's a thing. Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
My favorite drummer is Danny Carey from Tool. If anyone knows all the Tool shit. And one of the things he talks about is like, he's like, you got to go out. So many people want to hear these specific fills. So he's like, there's specific fills you have to hit.
Right.
And then there's the other fills that are kind of like my play fills that I can like fuck around with. But it's like, this is a key fill that everybody's going to air drum to. Everybody's going to hear it. We all know it's coming. I got to do it this way.
Right.
And, like at least to a reasonable thing, but it was like, that makes a lot of sense. And that's actually a way that a lot of pro bands actually do their whole set in a way, is like even like having like, these are the songs we have to do because that's what the people have paid money for. And now these are our alternates and we change these out every night, kind of thing.
Got to give the people what they want at the end of the
day.
You
really do.
Like a Zappa thing, I mean, I'm a huge fan of the Zappa drummers.
Yeah.
And to have to do what they do every night and to be I mean, they go like, we put together like, let's say a tour list. Obviously we're not playing as long as Frank is, but But I mean, they go in and they know that they're going in and they're going to spend like 6 months rehearsing for a tour. I mean, how much music,
dude.
6
I couldn't
months
imagine doing like one Zappa.
That's what I mean. and that's my second thing was like, I think about one of those songs. And these guys are like trying to get used to, all right, here's what's going to happen. We're going to do this. Maybe tomorrow we're going to do this. And you're like, yeah, that's right. We did. We touched on that back in February.
Yeah.
That we may do that. And then he's famous for changing shit up on stage. Like, so these guys have to be so great.
Yeah.
That they have all of that, able to play everything at the drop of a hat and then change. Like next time we're not going to do it. We're going to do this tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, okay.
A lot of sleepless nights for the Zappa boys.
I'm telling you, man.
Those compositions are so intense.
Every time I watch a live concert, I'm just like, I'm sure my brain would have melted like 6 songs ago. I would have been like, I can't. Because he just goes and he goes, next song, next song. He doesn't bother with talking. Every song segues into another song. There's just no stopping. Like sometimes he'll just play like 45 minutes in a row without stopping. And he's gone through like maybe 7 or 8 songs and you're just like blurry. But you're at the show and you're like, I can't even get up and piss right now because I don't want to miss anything. I mean, if I could come back and he could be like 3 songs changed, and be playing something amazing. I don't want to miss any of it.
Did you guys see that? It might have been the most incredible thing. Let's get back to the picture. God damn it.
I had my dick in my hand.
That would be my luck. Yeah. I was entertaining myself. Thank you very much.
Did you ever get into the Mars Volta?
Actually, I did.
They're one of my favorite bands ever, and they were like that too in their prime. With like their live show was just like, and to be honest, a lot of it was bullshittery, but it was also like they would go. I saw them like seriously like 15
See, I
times.
never saw them live though,
dude.
And I've been told that their live shows are way better than the record.
I mean, if you want like long prog, just acid trip, they would go on, and I mean, but it was also like they also knew what they were doing, and like so it would be like they would go into things, and then they would come back, and they knew what they were going to come into after that, and it was the same kind of thing where it was just like how like. It's a lot, man. It'd be a lot to rehearse that. You know what I mean? To like have that kind of shit on fucking lock. But
when you're writing it all together, you know what I mean. And you're from that school because they probably came from that Fish jam band school where we're just gonna play. We're just gonna play.
And when you're all roasted on acid,
and the fact that you're stoned,
playing 10 hours a day together.
Now wasn't Thomas Pridgen or something?
He was their second drummer.
Right.
That dude's a beast.
My
man.
son
He's one of my favorites.
absolutely loves him.
Me too.
I love him because of his he's just like, I'm just a dude playing drums. Like when you go to talk to him, he's just like, yeah, I just kind of do what I do. You know, I'm not going to give you any magic recipe.
Yeah.
I'm just really, really gifted.
He comes
and I
from,
just play. It's like, that's it.
He comes from playing in church. He comes from playing in whatever black church, fucking, Baptist, like that, whatever, funk gospel kind of shit, dude.
He's just a monster.
A monster. Yeah. And honestly, part of the reason why I bought that, I've always loved fucking Vista-Light kits and plastic kits, but part of the reason why I bought that is because I got back into the Mars Volta because they got back together. And I was going down the rabbit hole again and watching all the old videos of that era of Volta I love, and I love Thomas Pridgen. And just, I was like, God damn, that kit sounds good.
Yeah.
So fucking like the toms are so punchy but not too ringy and shit. And I'm just like, fuck. And so I was like, I'd been eyeing that fucking Vista-Light kit, but the DW one, and that's
now, how did you
reason.
decide on the DW then?
I'm a DW guy, kind of.
Okay.
So that's kind of that's what my main kit has been.
Okay.
My brother has a DW. I love DW. I've been a fan since me and my brother got our first DW in 2000, something like that. And then I got my green DW shortly after that. I just love Drum Workshop. I've loved that. I like the look of them. I think the finishes are great. They sound great. Now I kind of have some issues with how fucking loud and ringy they are for like recording. They're actually not great for recording.
Yeah.
But so I don't know. I'm just a DW fan.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at different options, and there's only so many like Vista-Light style.
I was just going to say, because I know Pearl makes it clear,
and
they make
a lot
an
of
acrylic.
them apparently the shells are actually all made by the same company.
Well, there you have it,
right? But they had this.
See, I found that out about Keller shells when
DW used to be all Keller shells.
Companies were just like, well, we just get our stuff from Keller. It's
but
so does Joe Blow Drum Company down the street. It's like,
slap the sticker.
Hardware
exactly. It's like, it's the same maple drum. Don't tell anybody.
Exactly.
I was a real CB guy growing up. Really
CB percussion, baby.
Towards that.
We always loved Pearl before that, and then
Right.
like DW at that time was the new hot shit.
When I was a kid, I always wanted to be a Tama guy.
Yeah,
I
Tama's cool too.
I grew up playing Slingerland, luckily, I say that only because the first drum kit that I could afford was a Slingerland kit, and Neil was playing Slingerland at the time, so I was like, I'm playing Slingerland, and I'm playing Zildjian, and I'm playing Promark sticks, just like my hero.
If it's good enough for her, it's good enough for me.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, I was just,
man.
But see, now that's why you give endorsements. That's why, it was
100%.
Neil played this, I bought that.
Yeah, I still use his sticks. That's what the 747s.
Yeah,
that's what I use.
They're great sticks. And a lot of people don't realize that they're oak. I mean, just about everything out there is hickory. If I gave you an oak stick and you're a drummer and you're
I love the oaks, dude.
Dude, I can take a life with this thing.
Yeah, bro, for real.
I mean, it ain't gonna break.
You know what else I used? I used for years, and I just got away from them. The Rock Knocker. Do you know
the double butt end,
bro?
Yeah,
I don't know. There's some about, because I spent so much time in like marching band and shit. So there's something about the heaviness of the weight up top.
Yep.
And it does kind of suck a little bit on your ride cymbal and stuff, but like there's just something about that weight up there that I absolutely loved. And so they make a 747 now. This is getting fucking nerdy for people listening. But they make a 747 now that it's with like the tapers pushed up, so there's more weight. There's like different versions of the 747 stick now.
Because remember when you first started butt ending the 747, and there wasn't much to hold on to.
Yes, that's the whole.
The taper was so gradual.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing I couldn't do. That was the one thing that I never liked. I would try to play butt end like he did.
Yeah.
And it would snap in my hand.
Yeah.
And you'd be like, God, man, I feel like I'm getting a mosquito bite in the palm of my hand.
Yeah.
And then the stick felt really small. There.
Yeah, for sure, because it's not.
And I remember the rock knockers were like,
it's just
this is a heavy metal drum
made
stick.
A stick with no fucking.
This is a tree with the branches just sheared off of it.
I'm telling you, man,
that's all you needed.
Get yourself one pair of them and fuck around with them, dude, because it's fun.
For that
They're
one
fun.
song, that is just. I need the song with the biggest beat.
You play a little different. Like I don't know. There's more of the rebound is different because of that extra weight up there and shit. Like
for sure, because you don't have that taper in the ball, which creates that bounce.
Yeah.
That's gone.
Yeah.
That's gone. But that monstrous backbeat, that's what you get. Yeah. And the rim shots are bigger and thicker. But the ride cymbal, ouch.
That's the one thing that kind of that's kind of the takeaway that So I really like these now. Just now that I've really started kind of getting back into really playing the drums again, I got into these. Looking into, okay, what are they even making now? You know, so they got the 747s that they got these different versions. You can get them in whatever wood you want now. So you can get the oak ones, you can get the hickories, whatever.
Right.
So I forget what they call them, but they're like 747 forward is the name of them or something.
Oh yeah, makes sense.
So they push the taper up so there's more weight.
Right.
And it's like, that's pretty fucking perfect.
I don't know if you did the same thing I did, but when you're a kid and you're trying different sticks and then somebody like Simon Phillips and you see, you hear his stuff and you're like, they make a Simon Phillips stick. I should try that one out. And this ball end, and you're like, oh, that's crazy. I don't know. Yeah. And then you start playing on that. You get hooked on that for a while. And then you're like, oh, Billy Cobham. I just checked out this Billy Cobham record. Yeah. Oh, they got a Billy Cobham stick. It's this oak 808 thing, which is similar to Simon's, but it's oak. So it sounds different. It feels different. So-and-so's got this other stick. And hey, wait.
I still do that. I'm still doing that. It's still fun for me.
Dude, that's the rabbit hole that is just, I gotta because when I started searching for endorsements, then I'm thinking, all right, so first of all, find a company that you like.
Yeah.
And then find a stick you like, and then start looking at the endorsement possibility and go after that stick.
Yeah, okay, we can do this, but I want to tweak this aspect of it.
And that way, you're not really asking for all that much. Yeah. To be honest with you, you're asking for a little bit of print and. If you're not famous, you're not going to get much anyway, but at least you get a cool looking stick, and it's the stick that you like.
Yes.
But if you're like me and you play that stick for a year, 2 years, and now you're done. You're just done. It doesn't feel right. I think I want to go with a different stick.
Yeah.
It's not like you're some artist at Vader's and the guy that is going, hey, Mr. DeLeon, are you still happy with that stick? Or, we've got a couple other models that might be more to your liking. Nobody's ever going to call me and say that.
Suck it up and play through the pain.
I guess I'm going to go to the store and look at something else now. Like my son's going through the same thing. He's just like, he hits harder than I do because he's that young, they want to crush everything. So he goes through sticks like crazy. And so he has the opportunity for him to have to go and choose a different style stick.
Yeah.
Is more prominent. It's I'm out of sticks. I got to go buy some new sticks. I'm thinking about trying these. And I'll be like, I don't know, man, I still got 3 pairs of the last the last match I bought.
Well, those oak sticks fucking definitely don't break as much.
No.
Sticks. Yeah.
You ever played maple?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Oh my God! Yeah. You talk about sticks that just shatter.
Yeah.
I mean, balsa wood. It's
they are.
I mean, I attribute them to balsa wood.
They're light and bouncy.
They're super light. They sound weird on the cymbals, but I'll tell you what. My old drum teacher, the only drum teacher I ever had, Rob Emanuel, he used to play these big American. I can't remember what they're called. They're Vic Firth, but they're maple and they're girthy. They're really girthy, and he always played with so much amazing jazzy feel, and I'm like, every jazz drumstick I ever saw was this tiny, paper thin pencil with a tip, and then this guy's got this mammoth stick, and he plays Latin grooves, and he's playing all this jazz stuff, and I'm like, how do you? I mean, look at that thing; it's a monster. He goes, go check them out. So I went to the store and I picked them up, and it was that maple stick, and I'm like,
oh, so they're big,
this thing weighs nothing, right? And he goes, that's how I can play so fast.
Nice,
and because he doesn't hit hard, so you can be really articulate with that stick, and you're not going to crush it. Whereas you and I think we're gonna want to get a little bit more meat on that ride.
I hit pretty hard,
even the shoulder of that stick doesn't really answer the bell like a hickory or especially an oak, where it just sounds. You start getting a little bit of a headache, after a while if you're really crushing that ride cymbal bell. So, but that's stick nerd talk there.
So the other thing that I wanted to tell you about is I'd been a little bit with this new kid. I'd been on the hunt for a ride cymbal.
Yeah.
Right? And my brother has a Zildjian A22 ping ride. I've always really liked that ride. I had been using a 20A custom ping ride. It's a little light. It's a little.
Yeah.
It's a.
It can be a bit washy.
It's a bit washy. It's a little small. It's a little high. It's great for if you're doing funk or something. But I wanted something fucking beefier. Right?
Yeah.
For some reason, I could not find these 22-inch ping rides. Are fucking hard to find.
Right.
Or they're out there. They quit making them in 2012. they're out there, but they're expensive, right? What I found was a 24 ping ride.
Yikes.
Zildjian A ping ride. And it was a good deal. So
It's a lot of real estate.
Bro, I bought it because the price was right.
It won't fit in between us right now. You put it on this table right now.
Dude,
Damn flying saucer.
I so wish it was here so you could fucking. But the dude from Journey was fucking swore by those,
Yeah.
and he still
Yeah.
uses it.
Yeah.
And dude, I fucking love it. It's like it's a little darker, obviously. But
Right, yeah. At that
is-
size.
it is a fucking massive piece of metal.
Yeah.
And it doesn't. What's cool about it is it's so fucking heavy that it like barely moves. So I'm just whacking the
Yep,
shit out
yep.
of it, and it's staying where it's supposed
Into
to be.
borderline
It's-
gong territory.
Yeah, yeah.
Seriously, dude, you're like playing
For
a fucking
sure.
gong ride.
For sure.
But dude, I love it. Honestly, I love it more than I thought I would. Honestly, I was like, this ride's the shit.
When I was checking out ride cymbals when I was younger, I mean, when I couldn't afford much, I just whoever had a ride. I would play it. And when I saw that Neil had set that old ride cymbal, and he had the next cymbal was stacked right on top of it, so he had to drill out the hole for his ride cymbal, and then the next arm of the cymbal, he had a crash cymbal or the cowbells or whatnot.
You got that on your China or something over here, right?
I did
Don't
that
you-
with the China, but it's built for that.
Yeah,
so,
right.
But this back in the day, I actually did that with my ride cymbal.
Right.
Like I took my dad's drill and I drilled out the hole. And I did it. That's how crazy I was.
know, it's sacrilege.
But in my mind, I'm like, dude, I just made 2 cymbals in one stand, and I'm saving money because I did not have money back then.
That math checks
So
out.
I did that. Yeah, it worked out. My pocketbook said, "This is a great idea. We're behind you on this all the way." But as I got older and I started listening to cats like Vinnie Colaiuta and Dave Weckl, and their cymbals were really dry, and then. And not a lot of buildup, but that was for jazz fusion stuff. Really articulate.
Yes.
And then I listened to guys like Steve Smith, and you're hearing every single little ting, 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 and his bell was astounding to me. And I'm
Right.
like, I'm looking at 3 different cymbals, and in my wallet is saying, but we need to do this on one cymbal. So I start if I bought a cymbal and it didn't act like I wanted it to do, all I could do was sell it and then buy a different cymbal with the money.
Oh yeah.
So I played Zildjians forever, and I played the K heavy.
Yeah. That's a nice symbol.
That is out of all of those cymbals. And I never wanted to go bigger than a 20-inch because I only had so much room on my kit. And I set back in the day, I used to set it up very jazz fusion-y, so the cymbals were high and they were tilted and everything was really, really tight. And that cymbal, out of all the cymbals I went through, I played the K dry, that ugly, horrific, dry-sounding cymbal.
Yeah.
Which you could hear every note, and it had no bell and no build. So it was just almost like a garbage can lid.
Yeah.
You know?
I had
And
a Sabian dry that was similar to that third version, and I fucking hated that thing.
there's only it's a one-dimensional cymbal.
It really is,
you know.
yeah.
And then I fell in love with that K heavy, and then I went crazy and I ordered a custom it was a rock ride.
Yeah.
They're not lathed at all. It's just stamp.
Okay.
But I was like really into shiny cymbals.
Does that have the big bell?
Yeah, no. This was before the mega bells.
Okay.
But you'd swear that it had one because of the way that it was made. So if you played it, I got the brilliant finish.
Yeah.
So I had the 20-inch brilliant finish. This thing would reflect light back to the moon. But here was the problem. We were talking about Simmons drums and playing on a piece of plywood.
Right.
This thing it was so thick that you couldn't you could hit it like a crash and it would just go gong, so you knew there was all my stick definition.
Your arms just go
exactly. You vibrated, the cymbal did it, it was the Chuck Norris of cymbals, it plays you, buddy. So you'd hit the bell, and the bell was crazy. It was amazing. It was like a fire engine bell. So everything was great, except that it just didn't build, and it was loud. And this was when I was in Tiles. So we played that show with Kansas, and Phil Ehart, the Kansas drummer, who's amazing, super, super nice guy. He comes up by my kit during sound check, and he's like, "Oh my God, you got an Earth ride? You got a brilliant finish Earth ride?" And I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, dude, I got a 22-inch on my kit right now. And he goes, my sound man hates me. Our producer hates me. That cymbal is so loud. We can't control it in the studio. It just bleeds over through. It just bites over everything. He goes, I love it. I'm never going to let it go. It's my favorite cymbal. He goes, I can't. You're like the only other drummer I've ever seen out here. That's
badass,
I was just like, I felt like vindicated.
Kindred spirits.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Kansas is the shit. That's badass. You got to fucking play with those guys, man.
One of my top 3 bands named after a city or state.
Yeah?
Without question.
How long is that list?
There's only other
Chicago, there's Boston,
and
Kansas.
coincidentally, Kansas.
Notable others. Yeah.
So they, well, with Tiles, we were lucky enough to play with. We were getting better gigs because that was like as far as playing on a label. We were signed to Magna Carta for a little while. We were signed to Inside Out, and the label mates that we had were Mike Portnoy's solo stuff was on Magna Carta. So we were getting some pretty good gigs and pretty good opportunities, and then the Dream Theater tour came from that because Mike's solo stuff.
You play in Europe? Or something with them?
Yeah. We went Jordan Rudess's first set of shows because they had just done Scenes from a Memory.
Yeah.
And they were going out to tour, and they were like, Mike got a hold of us, and he's like, I know you guys are recording on my solo stuff is on Magna Carta.
Right.
Would you guys be interested in doing like a leg of shows in Europe?
Nah.
We're tuning up. Yeah. I mean, it was weird. We've still got the email. It's like,
got to frame that bad boy up.
it was just like, so he asks us, and I was just like, when and where? I mean, let's just do this, and we did. We went and we played these venues that I would never have. I mean, I may never ever play something like that again. I told my son, you may have a lucrative big time career, or you may have a couple of little shots in your life that you'll never forget. And that was just, my band gets sick of me, talking about it. But it's just one of those things that's always, it's worth mentioning, to be able to go on the road and to warm up a band, and every show sold out.
Yeah.
And all you have to do is just do your part. Don't screw up. Don't try to do too much. Those guys are going to do plenty.
Yeah.
Everybody's there to see those guys. So just do your job,
Yeah.
And then we opened up for Judas Priest at State Theater, and that was when with Ripper Owens. That was that one when Rob just came out.
Yeah.
And Ripper came in, and I think it was one of the first shows. I think actually MTV might have even been there. But that was back when it was the State Theater, before it was the Fillmore. And so we played there, and we double booked ourselves that night, as a matter of fact. That's a funny story. But we played there. We opened for Judas Priest. And Tiles, like I said, we got compared to Rush. So you got to think a band like Rush, like prog, not heavy, but prog.
Sure.
Opening up for quite possibly.
And it was a 3-piece, too,
The
right?
Godfathers. Bass drum, vocal, guitar,
Okay,
so it was like everybody had their own thing.
Yeah, okay.
And, like everybody wants to see Judas Priest be Judas Priest, and here we are, coming up with our
playing Rush,
with our Rush vibe, and we're like, we're gonna play the heaviest stuff we have, and we all looked at each other and went, we don't have any heavy stuff. We have a couple of heavy sections in certain parts of the songs, but really we don't really have heavy stuff, And we talked with the guys after sound check, and they were all super. And Scott Travis is an absolute monster drummer.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And he's like 1,000,000 feet tall.
Right.
So what happened was we had booked that show, and then we booked a show back in Mount Clemens, and because we had a band from Ohio that were coming up, we had done a show with them down in Ohio, and then we said, as a favor, we'll book a show in Michigan so that we can get you some Michigan exposure, and then you can come up. Well, it was the same night. So we pack up real quick. This big-ass party, this big show that Judas Priest is about to put on. We leave. We're out the back door, gone. We rush to Mount Clemens to do this show. There's like 13 people there. So we go from a sold-out show at the State Theater and run out so that we can headline this show. And we promised these guys a good time. We should have just had them come to meet us at the State Theater.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's like, that was a tough pill to swallow. we could be there.
Professional
right now.
duty, though,
Yeah,
right? You gotta keep your word.
we took it for the team, and I don't want to tell you where we took it.
I'd have hung out with the Priest for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up loving Priest. They're one of my all-time favorite bands, and I was just like, I'm right there. I'm on stage. I'm opening for one of my favorite all-time bands.
Yeah.
But again, and it was a no-brainer. You know, we knew we had to go. We were like rushing because we were like, we gotta be there. Mm-hmm. So the professional side of us was like, dude, let's go. You know. Yeah. And then in hindsight, though, it was just like, oh God, what an absolute debacle. You know, what a horrible, horrible night. You know, and playing in front of his, having the opportunity to play in front of the bands that I played with, like back in the old days, there was a club called the Ritz in Roseville. And that club used to always get all these great bands, you know. King's X. I mean, I played with King's X a couple times, but they would have.
I love King's X.
I love. David Lee Roth actually played there during his later solo, when his solo career was starting to like almost bowling alleys and state farm, state fairs and whatnot. But he, you know, they would have bands, up and coming bands before they were great. And then bands on their slide, or bands that are just, you know, hey, they're just long in the tooth and they're just looking to, you know, get a. So we played with Night Ranger, we played with Blue Oyster Cult, we played, you know, all these bands. And
we saw Blue Oyster Cult at Rib Fest.
Little BOC.
Rib Fest at Kalamazoo, baby.
And again, they were really cool guys and they were just doing their songs and, you know, that was it, you know. With ISD, I played with, we played with a handful of nationals. We've toured, you know, with these bands from Europe and stuff like that. And I tell my
play with Fates Warning?
Yeah. I played with Fates Warning.
Love those guys.
A couple times. We toured with Fates. We played with Pain of Salvation from Sweden. They were
yes,
oh my God. Jesus.
Tony introduced me to their bass player.
Yeah.
I don't think he's still their bass player.
No, Gustav. Yeah, he's they got another guy now, but I don't even know if they're actually working with a bass player now. Or something. I can't remember if they were just playing with a track or something that they were doing some shows. I don't know. But Gustav played with Meshuggah for a little while too.
Oh, holy shit! I didn't know that.
Yeah,
he's.
My son pointed that out to me. He's like, yeah, you know, Gustav was in Meshuggah. I'm like, what? You know, so when they were in town, we were open for them at the Token.
Yeah.
And Gustav is like one of the last. That was the last tour with Gustav. And I wanted my son to meet him, so I brought my son to the show, and he had a chance. He was giddy because my son was just getting into Meshuggah,
right.
And so he got a chance to meet all these guys and hang out. He was just like one of the dudes. But we also played with a band called King Crow. Then we played with all these European bands that were coming over. Dude, these guys are so good. They're so organized. They're so rehearsed. They're so, and they're professional. They don't have that. I mean, there's like an American.
I'm a much bigger fan in general of it. Seems like as far as metal and prog and stuff, everything that's out of Europe. I don't really love American metal like at all. I'm not really into it.
I can't even think of a lot of American prog cats that I really would fall over listening to.
No.
But Tool obviously. It's a weird prog, you know what I mean? That style of prog is like
Tool's its own thing.
Yeah, it's like Tool. I don't know.
Tool's Tool.
Yeah,
it's like half
Tool.
atmospheric, half
because I'm a recent Spotify guy, and so I like picking a band, and I like to see what Spotify lines up from other people's input.
Yeah.
That's a great.
And I'm
way to
hearing
catch
these songs, and I'm like, dude, that's Tool. That's Tool. I look at my phone. That ain't Tool.
There's so.
I'm like, really? Are you that? I mean, literally.
So many Tool ripoffs.
Yes, that's what I mean. I felt bad,
including everything I've ever done,
myself included, 100%. And even like unapologetically so.
Even like Chevelle, you know, I'm trying to think of bands that have had like big hits. You know, they're like a big band. Like they started off like it was very like there was a certain era of like. Late 90s, 2000s, where vocalists especially were all doing a Maynard.
Yeah.
You know? Which I don't hate. Obviously, he's my favorite singer, so
sure.
I prefer that over some other things. But like, there, you know, just like everything, the band fucking gets huge.
A lot of pinch noses up there on stage. A lot of this going on.
We just saw fucking Puscifer, his other band. We just saw them a month ago or something.
Back,
How is that band?
I'm a huge fan.
Scott, our guitar player, is a big fan of that.
Yeah,
band.
it's a unique experience. It's Puscifer is half comedy show, half music.
Okay, that's what I thought, because I saw a YouTube video, and I was just like, I know what in the hell.
Yeah. There's a poster right there. That's a Puscifer poster.
Yeah.
Right,
it's like seeing it live. It's almost as it's just entertainment is the classification. Right?
I mean,
is
it something that should be seen more than heard?
The records are great. There's great songs, but definitely like the live show is like, because it's not just him. There's another singer, the Karina Round.
Yeah, it's a girl, right?
Yeah. So there's kind of co-lead singers, and then like a whole band, and like there's actors and video and a whole set, and everything. And it's a big production.
Yeah,
and it's definitely about being wacky, and there's inside jokes, and like he's fucking making fun of actresses and making fun of himself, and like,
it's
wearing
just
costumes
fun, man.
and
it's
all
just
that.
a fun show to see.
Now,
the music's great.
What do you think of A Perfect Circle?
Oh, I love A Perfect Circle. There's your Perfect Circle poster. But it turns out this room
starting
is
to see a trend here.
The Maynard Shrine just around the corner. The altar of Maynard.
That's where we all just stand and we're all silhouettes, and we all just talk to each other.
At the first intermission,
we talk to the backs of each other at that point.
I'm a huge Maynard fan, and it's because I love the songs. It's not because, like, I don't know. I always make this analogy about like sports fans that get like Lions fans in particular. I don't know if you're a Lions fan, but I always joke around about Lions fans are like, if my favorite band was some band that went on stage and sucked every single night, but I still made them my favorite.
That's still my band.
That's still my favorite band.
Ugly Kid Joe is touring.
They just came back. I saw that. They're coming to Detroit.
Don't sleep on Ugly Kid Joe now.
But what I'm saying is, though, the reason why Tool is my favorite band is because I love the songs and the playing. It's not an arbitrary, like, I just picked them and that's my thing.
Oh, it's real smart. It's real smart music.
If they sucked and, like, they were still coming out with garbage, or Danny Carey started blowing goats on stage, like, I wouldn't be into it, you know what I mean? But that hasn't happened. And
he bumped into Maynard at a Checkers one time, getting a double burger. He's been a fan ever since.
I'm totally blown now.
So I got a question.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
So you said you played with a ton of huge bands, it sounds like. Have you ever been, or what was like the most intimidated you've been going on opening up for a band? Have you ever just been kind of shitting your pants up there, just like, I don't want to fuck up in front of XYZ guy?
Yeah, and I tell this story ad nauseum, but I'll tell it again. During the Dream Theater tour, we looked at all the venues, and a lot of the venues were, again, when you're in Europe, you just assume that, Dream Theater, God, they're huge. We're going to be playing like all these huge venues, and most of them were, state theater-ish.
Yeah.
Which is a good. Don't get me wrong. I'm not pissing on that.
But yeah, it's Europe.
But I'm just thinking, God, it's Dream Theater. We're going to be playing arenas, and it
that
was
would
like,
have been what, in the 2000s?
That was whenever Scenes from a Memory came out. That would have been. It was right around 2000. Yeah, it was. It was right. It was 99.
Yeah.
99. End of 99. Because I remember it was, we were all waiting to turn off our computers. And it was in just after October. So it's just in winter.
Right.
Winter was just starting.
That's fucking classic, man.
So we went, and one of the, because I remember the name, it was called the Fila Forum in Milan, Italy. And I just remember thinking, the Fila Forum, it sounds like a big joint. Mm-hmm. Like everything else had a
usually
that's a hall, or that's a hall, and it was. They were halls. There was one that was it used to be a slaughterhouse, and they made it into there was one that was where they did cattle sales and stuff. No, it was where they did them.
Are they all slaughterhouses?
Yeah.
Every venue in Europe's just
all they have over there. I don't know what the hell the deal was. It was either a music hall or a slaughterhouse.
All these metal bands forged in the fire of fucking slaughterhouse.
When they sell cattle, they
an auction.
Yeah, so it's a massive hangar.
Yeah.
And that was the Netherlands. I think it was called the IJssel Hall or something like that. And I thought, man, this place is freaking humongous, but it looks like an airplane hangar. It doesn't look like a venue.
Right.
So we get. The bus goes through the Alps, and then we come out, and then we see the Fila Forum, and it's like pulling up to the old Silverdome.
Yeah,
Jesus. Yeah.
And I'm like, oh God, this is the show. This is the one. I can't believe this. So we get in there, and we're wandering around the venue, And this place is just huge. And we get in, and sure as shit, it was like a Cobo Hall, type place. And the people, as soon as the doors open, the people start just gushing into the place, and I'm like, so that's the night that we are on side stage, and we know the place is just loaded, and the pre-show music is going on that the guy always plays every night, and then the lights go off, and you know that how many times you've been in the crowd, and the lights go off, it's showtime, it's time to go, so you start going crazy.
Oh yeah.
So here we are on side stage, and the lights go out, and everybody goes crazy, and it's like all of a sudden your heart like literally goes from like 130 to about 180.
Well, it's a palpable feeling, and I can't even imagine performing for that. Yeah,
you can't until you're there. Nothing feels like that ever. So you go on stage, you think you've gone on stage. You don't even know where you're at. Your feet are floating. A guy's got a flashlight, so you're just following the dude.
Right.
And you got to find that spot that you're comfortable with. So you get behind your kit, and that's your home away from home, and that's your bedroom. And so once you sit down, now I can exhale. Uh-huh. And now it's like, you're starting to kind of see a little bit of the crowd, and then they start bringing the lights up, and they're like, they don't so much, it's not like they care about you so much because you're the opening band, but they know that the sooner you're done, the sooner Dream Theater comes on. So they're just excited. There's the excitement in the air. Now, again, song number one, and what I used to do at the end of the first song, I would throw my stick up in the air. There was a quick break, and I had been doing this for years. And the song was called Patterns. And at the very end, there's a quick break. Da, 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 and I would throw my stick up in the air. As soon as I catch it, we would do the big ending.
Yeah.
Our light guy, Derek, he didn't know that I had been, he wasn't really paying attention that I was doing this. So some nights he would kill the lights. So I'd throw the stick up in the air and he'd kill the lights, And when there's these lights, like a forum light setup, you're almost half blind.
Blasting you right in the face. And then
at the last bit of the song, the adrenaline's going like crazy. So I throw the stick up in the air and the lights go out.
Oh, man.
And I can just see the glistening of the stick as it's coming down. And I've done this a million times. So I know where it's coming. I catch it. And then the lights come back on and we do the big hit. And I'm like, I was so mad because I was like, no one saw that. You know what I mean? That was my first big trick of the night, and nobody saw it. So I do this to Derek because he's out in the middle of the crowd. But it doesn't occur to me that there's 3,000 people.
Other people. You got some 6'6" Swede named Sven out there going, "Hey, what the fuck, buddy?"
I'm like, oh my god, I couldn't. We were starting to get people flipping us back, and I'm like, that was my fault. My anger took over, and it was just, but. What I would do is I would do that. I don't know if you ever, if you're ever at a show or if you're ever, at a big show and you're feeling a little bit of the nerves. I like to do something way over the top to just settle myself. I don't even care if it works. I just need to do it. And if I drop it, I drop it. If I don't, I don't. Cool. But I need to know that I'm crazy enough to try that. Because that way it just settles me down. It's like, dude, you just pulled that off. You can fucking, the rest of this set. Or if I drop it, you dropped it. Big deal. Laugh it off.
Yeah, nothing
grab
happened,
a beer.
right?
Yeah. So it's my icebreaker for myself. So as the show went on, I mean, it felt great. Everything felt great. And with every song, we were getting the crowd more and more into us. There were more yells, more arms raised, less fingers raised. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah.
And then I get a drum break in a song called Another's Hand where I get to do, it really is long it's not a drum solo, it's just a drum break, but it's freeform. So I can really do anything I want. And then when I finish, I do, there's a cue that I do to bring the band back in.
Yeah.
So I can go as long as I want. Well, this is the biggest fucking I may have gone a little bit longer than I generally do, and it's on video. It's on YouTube, as a matter of fact. So you can hear me going, and the crowd starts building near the end of it. I'm going and I'm like, I have to stop because my drumming ego will, if I start hearing this, I'll just keep right on playing till the cows come home.
You're going full Peart 15 minutes.
Oh my God. I swear to God, it was like, I think even Criss said something, like, dude, you would have probably gone longer if you'd have heard them. You should have heard how loud they were starting to get like loud. And I was like, I didn't hear it. And then we finally this was back when nobody had phones. We still had the little 8mm camera. So we didn't get a chance to proof any of this stuff until like later. So my friend had got a really nice recording of it. And you can see, I mean, people were starting like really, and I'm just like, dude, I didn't hear any of that. I was just so in the moment, And I'm like, but it was great. And we got done playing. And then next thing you know, I'm starting to throw all these sticks out to fans and stuff. And I had only brought so many sticks. I brought a lot, but here I was so greedy. Oh my God, I was so geeked, man. I was throwing all my sticks out. Yeah. And
the next night, you're like, fuck.
My buddy Mike, Mike Marzal, we had 2 guys in the crew, Derek and Mike. And Mike's like, how many sticks do you have left? And I'm like, oh shit,
you got a whole tour, bro. This is
I mean, thankfully, we were about 2/3 of the way through the tour, and I was just like, shit, I gotta stop throwing sticks out, man. 'Cause people are like, dude, I'll take one. I'm like, grab me a brand new one. I'm chucking that to them. I'm like, dude. They don't grow. Well, actually, they do grow on trees. But you know what I mean? That's a whole side thing.
Find yourself in a Swedish back row giving hand jobs just to buy the next step for the next
I'm
night,
going to do whatever it takes. I don't have an endorsement. This is one of the problems.
747s. I can't play without them.
The tile show in Milan would be absolutely. It's still fresh in my head.
That's badass, man.
Standing there and when the lights go out and wow, I mean, just all of a sudden you're 3 feet taller and.
Hell yeah, man.
Yeah, it's cool.
All right, let's take a break because I want another drink.
Me too.
Cool. Yeah, my mic stand sucks. Fuck this mic, man. I gotta get something.
I'm not a kick drum.
Really reaping the benefits of this bad boy over here.
You got the
look at that
counterweight bass from real heft to it. Good quality American.
I'm gonna move my stuff closer to my face so I don't have to keep reaching.
Get right in there. Adjust it however you want, man. We were just talking up there a little bit. I wanted to talk to you about your setup a little bit. So this is going to be a little bit drum nerdy here.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so first of all, I love your setup.
Thank you.
Your setup's fucking awesome. As I'm sure you can too, I can always tell how good a drummer's going to be by their setup.
Well, you hope.
Yeah, most of the time. It's a pretty good bet. I can tell by their setup how good they're going to be.
Some drum sets are like fake boobs, like they look great until you talk to the girl. It's like, oh boy, this is going to be a long night.
What are your drums? What's the brand? I wasn't really.
Right now I'm playing PDP. Actually I used to play the X7 Maples. Now I'm playing the Fusion or the is it the Fusion Maples? It's an older drum kit, so I keep looking at the PDP. I'm trying to get an endorsement with PDP right now, as a matter of fact.
Man.
But they're the maple. They're the maple shell PDPs. I got them from a buddy of mine, Danny Kendall, who played with. I'm trying to remember the bands that he played with, but we played with him a handful of times. And actually, I saw the kit, and then I heard he was Tony and I heard he was getting rid of it. And we were like, dude, we need that kit. That kit would be so badass.
Yeah.
So Tony picked it up, and then I bought it off of Tony. And then the drum kit that I had, I sold to my son, Dominic. So both of us are playing PDPs.
Yeah.
But this one is it's the double kicks, which I've wanted for a while. And the funny thing about playing double kicks is that I actually use a double pedal.
I know. That was the first thing we ever talked about, if you remember talking on
Yeah, that's right. You were asking why I do that.
Yeah.
And Fate's Warning.
Yes.
He was my first example. The first person I ever saw do that was Kenny Jones on the Imminent, I think it was the Imminent's front video by The Who. And he had a double bass kit, and they showed a back shot, and there was no kick pedal on the left kick. It was a double pedal on the right. And I'm like, why would he do that? And then I never had a double kick pedal, or I never had a double kick kit since I was a kid. I had an old Tama set that I had, single pedals for. And I always thought if I ever get a double bass kit, it's going to be single pedals, because you don't want that, that there's a better vibe, and it's true. All of it's true.
Yep.
But then I'm on tour with Fate's Warning. And Bobby Jarzenbach is like an absolute, one of my favorite drummers, absolute beast. And I get behind his really beautiful DW kit, And I'm like, dude, you got a double pedal?
Yeah.
He's like, Mike, one kick drum, always going to sound the same.
Yep.
And it's just that much easier to deal with. I can play whatever I want. It just works better that way. For me, it just works better. And I go, then why the double kick kit? He goes, because it looks badass.
It looks cool. Because it looks cool. Yeah, hell yeah.
Sign me up. And that was it. So that was why. Because I was seriously considering going, the single pedals. And then I thought, because we're not rich and famous and we're not playing the biggest clubs in the world, sometimes
you gotta have a fucking drum tech.
I may have to downsize.
What
if I have to downsize my kit?
Yeah.
I got to play a single kick tonight. It's like, oh man, well, so if I always play a double kick pedal, I know that I can always downsize that kit depending on what we run into. Well, unfortunately, I have built this kit into a corner, which means that it's never going to be smaller.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
You got the whole rack.
I have set it up now where it is the cage. Yeah. So I could, at any time, I could just go ahead and do that. But I love knowing that my kick drums are always going to be perfect. Yeah, they're always going to sound perfect. All my double kick patterns are going to sound perfectly fine. Right. The only problem is, I don't know if you do this. I'm guilty of leaving a kick drum beater against the head. I'm not one of those guys that can pull it off and leave it,
dude,
like hanging. You know what I'm talking about?
1,000%. I know what you're talking about.
So if you use a double kick pedal, that affects it because one kick pedal is like sitting there against the head at all times.
Yep.
That's
why the response and shit's so much better when you do. And I've never owned a double kick kit.
Well, that's what you have to. That's what you have to weigh. That. Now, does it feel better with two kicks? Absolutely. With two kick pedals, oh my God. You know what I mean? You can leave one against it, both of them against, doesn't matter. You're not hurting anything. But so that's the one thing that you really have to be wary of. Is when you do that. Now, I'm a huge Simon Phillips fan, and Simon plays heel down a lot, and he's got those massive 24-inch kick drums, and they sound like cannons. But if you watch him play, it's like virtually no motion, and the beaters are always off.
Yeah,
because he's letting those heads resonate. Yep. He's letting them breathe. And you're like, how does he get that sound? Well, he's playing perfectly, and he's playing technically perfect. Yeah. Do you play technically perfect? No. Yeah. That's why you're never going to sound like that, So,
dude, I'm so bad about the fucking leaving like the left beater stuck on the head, and like it's not really a problem until you're recording is when it really becomes a problem. And it's almost like it's something a lot of like I didn't really even know I was doing it.
Right.
And it's like, fuck, man, that's definitely a thing.
Until you zero out that kick track.
And it's like
and you're hearing you're hearing these little bounces and you're like, what the hell is that? And you're like, I know what it is. I used to do that with my snare drum. And I didn't catch this until we did a drum playthrough for a song called The Knife. Wasn't The Knife. It was the intro to a song called Breaking Through it was on our first album with ISD. And I was recording it, and we put mics everywhere, and we put cameras everywhere.
Was that the recent one?
No, this is way back.
Okay.
This is way back.
Because you did a recent one at a club.
With a song called Fledgling.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, which and that
was what I was talking to you about.
Knowing that.
I was watching you do that thing, and I was like, why do you have two kick drums?
Right.
Because I had never really heard of anybody doing this, and it does make sense.
It's really common, actually. Yeah. A lot of people do it.
I bet. No, yeah.
Because, again, the sound guy... I mean, I played shows. I've listened to shows where you're like, what in the fuck is going... I mean, dude.
Yeah.
Here's an even better example. Tommy Aldridge on the Pat Travers album called Crash and Burn. The famous song, Snortin' Whiskey. Get that song, listen to it, and when you can hear double bass parts, and it doesn't even sound like the left kick drum is mic'd.
Yeah.
It's so off balance. It's horrible, and I'm like... That's why.
Exactly.
You know, want to know why I play double kick pedal? It's like, listen to this song.
That's what I'm saying.
I totally get that.
Like, you don't have you need to have a drum tech who can tune your shit, or you need to have the time that you can tune your two kick drums the same.
Yep.
And you need to have a sound guy, like you're saying, that can manage that. I mean, you're going to roll up at a club. They don't even have two kick drum mics.
Exactly.
It doesn't even exist.
Exactly.
So
and with a bigger kit, you're going to, you go, all right, well, I got two kick drums. All right, well, that's going to take up a channel. So now I'm going to double mic this time. I'm going to double mic. I mean,
they're already like, dude, your fucking kit won't even fit in this room.
Yeah. It's pretty comical. I mean, I'm at the age where if I really wanted to be, I could be like this really jaded old dude, but I've got my kit, and I don't have to justify it to somebody.
Yeah. Your kit's sick, dude.
But I play prog, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't bring shit that I don't hit.
Yeah.
If it's on the kit, I'm going to hit it tonight.
Yeah.
And we play progs, which means that I'm going to hit all of it a lot.
Yeah.
So mic it. Don't ask me what I can afford to not have, or what dude, you're a sound man at a rock and roll club. Buy some mics.
I'm with you there.
I mean, come on, man.
Microphones would seem to be a reasonably important prerequisite if you're going to run a fucking club.
But God, we had played
5 toms.
Yeah. Well, I've got 6. I've got 8, 10, 12 up front. I've got a 14, 16 floor.
Yeah.
And then I've got the I can't remember the cat's name, but he's the drummer for System of a Down.
Yeah.
He's got those micro timbales, the LP 6 and 8.
Yeah.
Micro timbales.
I love those. Yeah,
no,
those
I used to play with an Octobon.
Yeah, those are cool too. I wish
they're cool, but tonally, it didn't fit with the 8-inch rack.
So when you came down, it was like weird.
It sounded weird. It just sounded like a weird drum.
Yeah.
I mean, an Octobon's they're famous for a sound.
Yeah,
that was not the sound I was looking for.
Yeah,
and then I saw somebody was selling these LPs on Facebook, and I was like, Man, and they were cheap.
Yeah, you got those up over here.
Yeah, and of course they're shallow, so I can put them right over the hi-hat.
Fucking rock. They fucking.
Oh, dude, they explode out of your head. You know.
You know what? I was telling you about the kit I'm selling.
Yeah.
I have 2 8-inch toms on that kit. One's an 8x6 and an 8x8.
Yeah.
I didn't make this kit. I just bought it that way. It's preposterous. But I always talked about.
I love that word.
that high 8-inch tom is like a laser.
Yeah,
that's how I used to describe it.
Yeah,
it's like holy fuck, dude. When you crank that thing up, it is just. And I've there was the guys when I used to play in like the marching band shit and stuff. Like they were like, "Why do you want an 8-inch tom?" And they'd be like, "Oh," I'm like, "Yeah, the 8-inch tom's the secret weapon.
Sure,
like if you don't have an 8, you're missing the boat."
Yeah. All my tom, any drum kit that I had prior to that was the highest drum that I had was a 10.
Yeah.
You know, and I could not. I always wanted to get my. I was a 6 is just. It's almost like a stunt drum. Like you're never. You're not really going to use that.
That's what I was doing with that other 8-inch. Is what I'm saying. Like that second 8-inch. It was just, and I'd usually, for some reason, I don't know why I would do this, but I'd put a coated head on it.
Yeah.
I'd always use clear heads and everything else and put a coated head because you got 2 8s. What are you going to do? What are you going to fucking do? So I'm going to make one crazy.
Right.
So if I could put a coated head on it, crank that fucker up, and I'd tuck it down. I'd either like put it up here like you do above your hats, or put it down here kind of in this weird way, and that fucking thing would just be like, I don't know how else to describe it, but it sounded like a laser.
Yeah, I tell you, they cut through.
Yeah, dude.
They cut through. When I did a drum, when I was just first starting to set up the kit, I did a little drum thing and I put it out on Facebook, and a couple of my old drumming friends were like, "Dude, that's small tom."
I'm telling you, man,
dude, it's 8.
Yes,
that 8. He's like, they're like, "What is that?"
I go, "Fucking rules."
I always wanted to go with an 8-inch drum. It's like, I know, you know. I was so, and that kit, believe me, that kit was. I tried to go Mangini with it. So I literally put the 8 in the middle.
Yes.
And then I went 10 to the left, 12 to the right, 14 to the left, 16 to the right.
Yes.
What a mistake that was.
Well, okay. Did you see, did I send you the pictures of my old kit set up that way?
No.
So the kit I'm talking about now, which is the kit I'm actually selling, my old DW. With the 2 8s, okay? So I did the same thing. I bought a rack and I went full Mangini, and it works because of the 2 8s.
Because the 2 8s, right?
So you're saying, so now you're 8 and you're going down like this, right? And I got a 13 and a 14 inch. It's a huge kit. So in that way with the 2 8, it's fucking cool and it looks cool.
Yeah.
And with the 2 8s, it's very symmetrical.
Right.
I played it. I had it set up that way for close to 2 years. I played it for a little while, and then I kind of just quit playing it.
Honestly, dude,
I don't love it.
I was just like, why did you do this?
Me too.
This is so not your style.
I eventually broke it back down and went back down. I'm like,
for sure.
This was fun, but let's set it back up in a real way.
I did the John Cougar thing when what the heck is his name? Kenny Aronoff.
Yeah.
He had the big tom, and then he took the smaller tom.
Yeah.
And he brought it to the right.
Right. Yeah.
And so
that's like what Marco Minnerman does too.
Yes.
He's got
he's another.
Yeah. He's an
Looney Tune. Yeah. You know, that guy's he's on another planet. But when you approach that with an old-fashioned 4-piece drum kit mentality. Snare, tom, floor. This is a sound effect tom. You know what I mean? You don't think of it in terms of, your standard roll around the drums, snare around your toms to your floor. It doesn't have that anymore. So it's almost like, again, it's like a thing that's kind of fun to do.
Yeah.
Not like a standard 5-piece kit where you do that, you go all the way around.
Yeah.
This one is always going to sound weird. So now I've got to completely revamp that whole concept of, and now my sticking is all screwed up.
Oh,
so,
yeah. I was doing switching, crossing over, doing this. I'm like, oh, this is cool. I just go right down. I don't gotta. Bullshit.
Yeah.
You're
After like
yourself.
2 months, you're just like, this is the dumbest idea I have ever had.
Genie. Okay.
Yeah. I see why you're the only guy that does it. You're the only guy who's completely committed to that kind of idiocy.
100%.
And he doesn't even do it anymore. But when he had that Roto kit, I don't know if you saw when he was with Extreme, he had that same setup, but with Roto toms.
That's dope. That'd be badass.
That was cool because the Rotos, they take up so little space.
Yeah.
And he had them. I mean, he had that 6-inch was in the middle.
Yeah.
And that thing was super high, And the other Roto guy that I loved was Terry Bozio back when he was when he was in UK, and he was playing the complete Roto kit, and I fell in love with the sound of Rotos.
Man, I'd love it. I'd love that so bad.
I had a kit. My buddy John had a kit, and it was 2 24-inch Tama Kick Imperial Stars, black, and he bought Rotos 6 to 18.
Oh,
it was so
dude.
fun
They don't
to
give
play.
those things away either, man.
Yeah.
I've looked into getting a set. Like I've seen a couple like the 3 set is pretty popular.
Yeah.
Like I see them pop up, and I'm like, fuck, man. Like they're
again.
not.
It's similar to the.
What you got is that's a great
because it doesn't
compromise.
they take up no space.
And I have a set of real quote unquote timbales, and then I have 2 snare drums that I turned into timbales.
Yeah.
So like I'm a timbale fan, and so like
I love the sound of them.
Me too, man.
I always have.
So love it. Like I have those set up next to the fucking the congas and shit.
Now, do you got the
whole
timbale
station.
sticks?
Yes,
the real skinny sticks.
Yeah, I need to get a new set. They're the ones I had are purple.
Yeah,
and they're like they're wood and then they're painted purple.
The first time I ever saw timbale sticks, I'm like, that's why these guys are so fast.
It's the rock knocker, but it's a smaller version.
It's really skinny, and you can like fly, man. I'm like, that's why they're so fast.
I've used those. I used to use those timbale sticks on my E kit too.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect,
because it's smaller, lighter. You know, it worked,
and they don't wear and tear those heads as bad either.
Yep.
So as far as you saw the rack. The rack is a Pearl Icon.
Yeah, which I dig. You got to commit to the Pearl.
Yes, which I
did.
did.
It works so much better, honestly. But you got to go there if you're gonna go there.
Yep.
I have a Pearl rack too, but I don't got enough shit to put on it.
I've considered going to a Gibraltar.
Yeah, right.
But then I'd have to swap. I mean, God, that's a lot of hardware I'd have to buy.
But that stuff's a lot easier to come by, and it's more universal. That's what I'm saying.
For sure.
Pearl. But you know what? It don't fucking work as well. The Pearl. That's the whole point of going with the Pearl. Is it locks onto the square thing. So if you're already in that, dude, I would not fucking change. I would commit to doing that.
All the cymbal stands were old Yamahas back when I played Yamaha.
Yeah.
And my son, smartly, has already been replacing his with Gibraltar and even DW stuff.
Yeah. DW is my favorite hardware in Gibraltar.
By far DW. If I could afford all DW, I would buy all DW hardware.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. Because I play DW pedals. I play the 7000s. On the kick, my kick pedals are 7000s, and the hi-hats are 3000. Because I mean, it's a hi-hat stand, you know.
Yeah.
But I'm going to eventually, and then like my cymbal company.
I wanted to ask you about that, and but before I do, I also noticed you're not using felts on your cymbals.
Correct.
You're just using the fucking. I don't even know what it is, but do you put the stands come like that? Is that something you put on?
That is a company that I came across on Facebook in my drummer page, and I saw this one guy, and all they are is basically it's like a washer with a sleeve, but the sleeve is like
it's like
way
3
long.
inches long, or 4 inches long.
And what you do is, if depending on the thickness of the actual thread, you can get one size or the other. I think they have 2 different sizes for whatever the cymbal stands are. And you basically just get rid of everything. And then you put this on it. And then you can put on a standard felt or a rubber felt or the new foam felt.
Just on the bottom.
Yeah, just on the bottom.
Okay, and then you just put your cymbal on.
And when I'm watching cats like Bobby Jarzenbach, who has like just a wingnut, Simon Phillips, just a wingnut, and they're letting the cymbals just swing free, and I'm like, I loved it. I always loved it because the cymbals are just
sounds
going.
good, but I don't like that wingnut sitting on top of my cymbals.
Well, that's
like
what
that,
I mean.
You know?
So I wanted something.
They're getting free ones.
I wanted something to get rid of that.
Yeah.
And these are so tall.
Yeah.
That unless you actively try to like smack it from underneath, it's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
And it's really durable.
Right.
So I think they're
Is it like that hard plastic shit? Like that's what DW sleeves are on theirs, but you still use still use the felt.
I haven't even gotten close to wearing any one of these down yet.
Right.
And my ride cymbal or my crash cymbal that I like ride with, that's usually the first one to go because that one takes all the beating.
Right.
And my ride cymbal. So I've gone all of them except for anything that I need to be somewhat stiff. Now I guess this company makes a ring that you can actually force down on it to hold like a china. Like there's
I've
China.
had those on Chinas.
Yeah, so they're saying that I can do that on that too, and I may experiment.
Those are cool. I had one. It's I'm sure it's a different company, but it's like it's a spring.
Yeah, I remember the cymbal springs. Yeah,
you put and I'd only use it. We had it on a China because it still clamps your China down, but the spring can move, so you're not, because otherwise you're going to break your fucking cymbal.
Right.
That's what's going to happen.
You had the red and the yellow ones.
Yes, that's what it was.
And the red was really flexy, and the yellow was like a ride cymbal or a China cymbal.
Yeah.
My friend used those.
Cool. Yeah.
They were great.
I have a little gadget that the way I have it set up now is I have a 20-inch China way down on my low tom, and then I have it's like one of those it's like another little extender, kind of like what you have, but it's only like a 4-inch job or whatever. And then I put a zill bell on there.
Oh, sure.
So I could fucking whack that zill bell down over there.
And you're never going to hit it by accident. You only hit it when you need to.
I can't even hit it on purpose.
Well, then that could be another problem.
But that's fun. That zill bell came with that kit that I bought the kit I've been talking about, the 2/8.
Yeah.
I bought the whole thing from this dude. It was the early days of eBay.
Now, what kind of kit was that?
That's a drum workshop.
Yeah.
It's a collector's series drum workshop. It's a nice kit.
Yeah.
The kick drum is a 20x18.
That's nice.
Okay, it is nice, but it's long.
Yeah.
But I don't love the 20.
Really?
It does sound good mic'd up.
I was just going to say, they're supposed to be great mic kicks.
It is. Mic'd up, it is great. When we were playing big venues, it did sound great. Tight, punchy. Like this guy was playing some kind of jazz fusion or something. The cymbals were all A-custom, small, fast, tight.
Oh, you bought
lots of
everything.
Everything. So we went and bought the kit, and I don't know, dude was going through a divorce or something, and he sold us the hardware and all the A-customs. Full set of A-customs, which I still have. Wow. I broke the rest, but I still have I have the 3 splashes, which I still use.
Yep.
A set of 13-inch A-custom hi-hats, which I have as my secondary hats now.
Right.
Which are very cool, but they're not 14s or 15s.
Sure.
And then that 20-inch ride that I was talking about earlier, which, it's kind of hard to break a ride.
Right.
Very nice ride, but it's not like what I want on my kit.
Yeah.
I want bigger, more rock stuff. This is more like if you're playing in Dave Matthews Band, this is your kit.
Yeah. For sure.
The snare, I never use the snare on this kit because it's only 4.5 inches deep.
Right.
Very nice snare.
Sure.
Sounds great when you want that sound.
Right.
Drum Workshop's fucking great piece, right?
Yep.
But, I want a 6.5 inch deep fucking rock snare.
Sure.
So I'm somewhere in between. The toms of this kit sound incredible. Mm-hmm. They're like the best toms of any kit we've ever had.
Wow.
So I fucking love these toms.
But everything else.
Yeah. But never loved
toms
loved
are
the
kick.
Kick.
Everything else sucks.
Didn't love it doesn't suck. It's
I know,
just I know.
Not for you.
Yeah. It's just kind of I don't know, man. I just got fucking jonesing on getting a new drum kit and specking out exactly what. Because when you buy it used from somebody else, I didn't get to choose the color.
Sure.
I didn't get to choose these different things.
Right.
I still love the kit, and it is crazy. It's a 9-piece drum set, so you can set it up almost any configuration you can imagine. So I love it, but that said, you know, like I wanted to get, that's what the new one is. I wanted to get like my kind of ultimate end all be all. And with that one, the new one is 16 and 18 inch floor toms.
I always wanted to mess with an 18 inch floor tom, dude.
Dude. Bro. I was like, because I got to playing one of my brother's kits is a 13. It's like more just like a rock kit with a 13 and a 16.
Right. Yep.
And that 16 here, I was like, okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And so like I actually had them, I had DW custom make me, quote unquote, the 18 inch tom for that Vista Light kit that I got. Dude. Oh, fuck, man. I will never go back, dude.
I mean, that thing's got to ring like forever.
They're just, and it's, what I love is
it's almost a gong bass drum.
It is.
You know?
And what I love is because I still got the 8. So it's like, I got these like nice, tight, like it's an 8, 10, 12.
Yeah.
Great rack toms. So you got the 8, and then when you're over on your floor toms,
right,
it's fucking business time, dude. You know, like, it's like just
like Flight of the Conchords,
bro.
It's business.
That's exactly.
I love that. They're like the only other people that I know that know that reference.
Yeah, I do.
I love those guys.
I saw Flight of the Conchords live at Bonnaroo in 2008. It was Bonnaroo and Tool headline.
Oh my god!
But
dude.
yeah, I saw Flight of the Conchords. Saw a bunch of other.
I would have loved to have seen
there,
that.
yeah.
I'm a huge fan of theirs. That Brett was just toured.
Yeah.
He came to Chicago. I don't know if he came to Detroit, but I think he came to Chicago, and I was like, I really wish I would have gone and seen that.
They're so funny, man.
Oh man, they're
a great
hysterical.
live show.
Hysterical.
Yeah. And it was that was right at the peak of that show and everything. So like, yeah, we got to see the whole fucking deal live. They played all the songs, you know, and everything, and we're hilarious on stage. It was super fun, man.
Now the cymbals was funny because I played Zildjian like exclusively all my life.
Yep.
And then I finally got to a point where I was just like, and I'd approached them over the years for endorsements like three different times, and I got turned down every time. So I was like, you know what? I'm not going to sweat it anymore. I'm just going to play whatever the heck I want to play.
Yeah.
So I would like if somebody had a really cool cymbal, if it was a Peisty cymbal and I could add it to the kit and do something with it, fine.
Peisty's great. They're just so expensive.
But I was doing a lot of stuff with Sabian because I was working retail at a place called Huber and Breeze in Fraser. It was a music store, a little mom and pop music store. It was an excellent place to work. And the markup on cymbals, actually the markup on drums in general, was just insane.
Yeah, for sure.
So as an employee, my discount for Sabian was crazy. Nice. So I started getting into just not buying, I'm not swapping everything out for Sabian. But like if something cool came out, I would check it out.
Hell yeah. I like Sabian too. It's great.
And they're great cymbals. Yeah. They're great cymbals. Yeah. So the HH series, which when it's like I loved K's, so HH was like it was a natural. But like, so I'm in ISD for a while, and I'm on. You know, I got my social media thing happening. I got my drummer page, and this cat from China, like out of the blue, just like, hey, you know, would you be interested in checking out our cymbals? You know, and I'm like, sure. You know, like, and he's like He goes, I'll send you, you know, if you're interested in something, I'll send you a price list. And I've said, yeah, at the time, like literally, I'm just trying for anybody, you know, and I'm seeing like Soul Tone or Saluda, all these cymbals. And I'm like,
don't get me started on the Soul Tone thing.
But I'm like, I'm seeing all these cymbals and I'm like, and they're all sounding good. And I'm like, you know, maybe I'm barking up the wrong tree here. You know, why am I only going after the big guns that keep turning me down? Yeah. Why don't I just go and I'm seeing all these people and I'm watching their videos and I'm like, all right, I don't know who you blew to get this endorsement, but I mean, holy crap, you can barely do anything but look pretty. Yeah. And now you've got a full blown cymbal endorsement. I'm sorry, but I guess. And I don't want to appear sexist. I mean, I've seen guy drummers that can barely play out of a paper bag.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about.
I'm just like, I know
YouTube and shit right
but
now.
I know why you're getting the endorsement. Yeah. I'm not kidding myself. An endorsement is to help the company sell product. So if she's helping young female drummers, you know, buy hey, more power to you. But to me, as an old fashioned, I worked really hard on my craft to be good, and you're not. You know, yeah, so I thought, you know what, I'll just do it the old-fashioned way. Fine. I'll just, you know, if somebody approaches me. So this guy, Nicholas Zhang from China, sends me this price list, and I'm looking at it going, oh, man, this reminds me of my old Sabian days. Yeah. And I'm like, you know what, I was talking to my son. I said, I'll have him send me out a cymbal, And I was really looking for, oddly enough, a ride cymbal.
Yeah, right.
Because I'm super picky like you.
Same. That's what you do. A lot of it's the ride.
If you can get me a ride cymbal that I like, I'm your guy.
Yeah.
Because everything else is going to be cheaper than a ride cymbal. Ride cymbals are always the most expensive cymbal in the goddamn thing. So I'm like, I want a 20-inch. I'm looking over all the cymbals. I'm checking out the YouTube videos. And this Dragon series is kind of like the A Custom. It's a high-polished cymbal. It sounds really good. I'm watching the videos. So I asked the guy for I want a Dragon Ride 20-inch. And he sends it to me. And it's dirt cheap, so I was totally cool with it. And I got it, and I put it on my stand, and I went to go play it, and it sounded like an old-fashioned jazz ride cymbal. Like almost no bell. And immediately opened up. As soon as I touched it, it opened up like a good old fashioned jazz. And I'm like, this is exactly what I did not want. And I'm thinking, we obviously have a miscommunication here. I'm dealing with a salesman, and he probably doesn't savvy that much, English. And I bought, like the first step in buying this cymbal from Arborea was this. But then I thought, well, wait. I laid into it, and I'm like, oh man, this sounds like a big, dark, ugly crash.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I think I can salvage this thing. So I went and because Tony Piccoli from ISD, he programs a lot of drum stuff, and his drum program tones. He's got this one really big sounding cymbal that he's used on a lot of different songs, and I'm like, dude, I finally have that cymbal, because normally it's not my wheelhouse to have that type of cymbal. So I put it way back in the corner over the floor tom.
Yeah.
Low cymbal, low drums.
Yeah.
And I used it for a crash for the longest time. And then he contacts me, and I'm like, I'm not going to order another ride cymbal from you until we have our English language thing figured out. I can't do this anymore. And he calls me, or he texts me on Facebook, and he's like, listen. Somebody from America ordered 2 crash cymbals from the AP line, which is like the old standard A Zildjian.
Yeah.
They're not brilliant finished. It's just a standard.
Right.
He goes, he ordered 2 18-inch crashes. He doesn't want them. Would you be interested in them? And I'm like, how much? And he shoots me this like ridiculous price. Like you could never pass it up price.
Right.
And I told my son, I go, what do you think? And he goes, just get them. Just get them. And even if they don't even sound good, dude, you can't beat that price. So I get them. They sound beautiful. Yeah. And now I'm like back in.
Are those what you're playing up here? Yeah.
And I'm back in the game, with this guy. So now I'm like, all right, listen, because I've gone on their videos and I've heard guys playing some of their and it's crazy because there'll be a guy from Russia, like Arborea, Russia, or Arborea, Venezuela. Like they're all over the world.
Yeah.
And these guys are playing the cymbals, and I'm hearing what I want. So I know they can make it. You know what I mean? But it's a cymbal company. So you know what I mean? You buy 6, I could buy 5
they're all
16-inch A Zildjian thin crashes and hit every one of them, and you'd swear to God, they were all 5 different cymbals.
Yep.
So it's that guessing game. And they're coming from China, dude. I can't play them.
Yeah.
I can't go to the store and A-B them.
Yeah.
So I just get what I get. But again, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
So I've been ordering splash cymbals and like the A custom splashes, which are just that.
Those are I love them.
They're the greatest line of splash cymbals ever made. The A custom splashes.
Agreed.
The only second place would be the Pearl or the Peisty signature series splashes. Those ones are amazing. But I'm like, you know what? I know I can get these cheap. These little cymbals. Gosh, if that big cymbal costs only that much, then. So I had them send me 6, 8, 10.
Yeah.
A set of Chinas or splashes, and I get those, and sure enough, they sounded really nice.
Yeah.
The 6 and the 8. The 6 sounded like literally like you were hitting a tambourine. Mm-hmm. It was just just exactly what that old Neil.
Yeah.
When he would play it. So I got those. And like I think he gets frustrated with them because he thinks that I'm just going to start buying like the world, and then I'll like go for like a year and not, dude, I thought we had something here, So he, and then recently now I just ordered a 10 and 12-inch splash and an 18-inch Dragon Crash. And the great thing about those Dragon Crashes is they do have a naturally darker tone. Mm-hmm. So I took out the ride. It was a bit big for a crash cymbal. I don't play crash cymbals. They're 20 inches, you know.
Yeah.
I've got a friend of mine, Carl, who loves that kind of crap. He plays a 24-inch ride too.
I would like to have a 19-inch crash, but I don't want to go any bigger than that.
That dude, Meshuggah, Thomas Hockey from Meshuggah, like he's got 2 ride cymbals as crashes.
Yeah, so does the guy from Deftones has that 20-inch A custom ride that I have. That's his crash ride up here. He puts it up here, and that's what he rides on. That's that Deftones.
Dude, that blows my mind,
I know,
man.
it's that same cymbal I got.
Crazy. And again, like Josh Freese with the Perfect Circle. Those guys, I mean, when your kit is laid out like that, I'm down. But my kit is so tonally top to bottom that I need that top to bottom cymbal.
Yeah.
I can't be dealing with 18, 19, or I'm sorry, like 19, 20, 21, and 22-inch crashes.
Yeah.
First of all, that's a lot of geography.
Yeah.
You know, try to put, I'll give you, all right, here's a couple of cymbals, a 20 and a 22-inch crash and a 24-inch ride. Where are you going to put them?
Yeah.
You know, like really.
So the ride you're playing now is you got the 20 still.
Now
right?
I've been bouncing between rides. I had a custom-made Sabian 21 Mega Bell.
Fuck, I want a 21 too. I thought a lot of time, sorry to interrupt you, but
that's all right.
I want a whole set of cymbals that are odd sizes. 17, 19, 21. Right. How sick would that be? Like, I love a 17-inch crash. They're
I love
hard
17s.
to find,
I love 17s.
It's kind of perfect, you know?
I just bought a 17, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, dude, yes.
So I've got an 18, 17 up front. I got an 18 in the back. And then what eventually I want to do, I'm going to order 2  18-inch Chinas. And I'm going to bookcase.
Yeah.
I'm going to go back to the old-fashioned. Yeah, you know what I mean. Oh yeah. Double bass kit. You got to have the double Chinas on each side. And then I will order hi-hats for both sides, and then the remote is I got to figure out the geography of the remote and either I might build a stacker.
Yeah.
You know, like maybe a 12-inch splash with a little 10-inch Kang or something, and and I want that explosive sound, but I want it to be high, like a splash China. You know what I mean? Like, and you know what? The Max Stacks that Portnoy plays. When we were on tour with them. Yeah. He had.
That was right when they came out with those.
They weren't even out yet.
Yeah. Yeah.
They said prototype. Right on them. He goes, these are like no.
Stacks are so popular.
He's like,
now.
I'm working with these right now, and he played the crap out of them. He goes, I recorded the album with him.
Yeah.
He goes, I'm calling him after my son Max.
Over that record.
That's why I called him Max Stacks after his son. Yeah. You know, and I actually played with his son's band too. You know, Max is a good drummer. I'm a little bummed out that the music that he plays with Tala, because he was in that Next to None, I think was his first band, and they were really proggy. And I was like, sweet, dude, you're following in your father's footsteps. They're not as prog as Dream Theater, but they were proggy, and they had great players, good kids. And now he's in this band. It's really like new metal
punk kind of thing or something, isn't it?
And I'm like, oh man, I was kind of bummed because I was like, I saw a bright future for him musically. But hey man, if you're happy,
I'm sure he's going to do many things.
I hope so. I hope so, because he's a good kid. He's a really good kid,
I'm sure.
and really talented. You know, and
so what are you using for the ride now then?
The ride, I went from the Mega Bell. I got a buddy of mine who sold me his, I recorded with it a dark, it was a Peisty, a heavy dark that sounded, oh my God, it was so thick and so pingy and the bell was great. And then I went back to the Zildjian thing for a while. I kept bouncing back and forth from like I just don't know what I wanted, and then my son, his singer has like an old crappy drum kit that they use for rehearsal, and he goes, he's got this UFIP or UFIP, I think it's pronounced. It's this 20-inch ride. He goes, Dad, it actually sounds pretty cool. I said, well, bring it over and let me check it out. So it's heavy. I don't even know what line it is.
That's what's on your kit now.
UFIP, that Italian.
The reason why I'm asking you about it is because I thought it sounded fucking awesome.
Yeah.
It
sounds amazing.
Every show, the 3 shows I've seen you play, I'm like, your fucking ride sounds great. Yeah. You're also playing it well, which helps. But that's why I'm like, keep talking. What the fuck are you using as your ride? Because I'm like, what? This thing sounds great.
I'm going to assume it's an UFIP heavy ride. their signature line. I think it's just called the Signature Series. And whose signature? I don't know. It's in script type. It just says Signature Series. But he brought it. I set it on my kit. I hit it a couple of times and I went, holy crap, this thing sounds amazing.
Yeah.
And it was old and dirty and all oxidized. And I went and I grabbed my groove juice and I cleaned the crap out of it. And it made it a little bit brighter.
Yeah.
It didn't even need to be brighter, dude. That bell hits you right through the frontal lobe, you know. And I was just like, it's going to take a lot for me to put that away. So, but because we're building a studio, it's probably gonna be on the wall of ride cymbal sounds like, what are you looking for? Oh no, I've got that ride. If somebody wants to come down and record, you know, well, do you want something washy or do you want something with that? You know, I could put that on there, and that's when I am basing. I sent my friend Nicholas. I sent him a video of me playing that cymbal, and I'm like, you find me a cymbal that sounds like this. I don't care what line, because they've got like 8 or 9 lines of cymbals.
Yeah.
I don't care. I don't care what it is. Find me a 20-inch that sounds like this. Put your guys on it. And that's the thing. Like, you go to Zildjian, or you go to Sabian, you go to Paiste, and they have those guys, those gurus, those savants that'll be like, oh, wait, I know exactly what you want. And then they'll go back in the vault, and they'll pick out a cymbal, and they'll hit it and be like, it's exactly it. These guys are they're... I just haven't gotten that from them, you know.
Right.
Like you're not putting me in touch with your savant guy. You're just he's a good salesman. He's super nice and he's super cool with me. And I know I'm a bit much to put up with sometimes. So, you know, I give him credit on that. But I'm just thinking that you know, is there a dude, you know, that I can send him the video and then he can go, oh, I know. I'll find it. That's actually there's one that sounds like that from the such and such line. It's a 20 or a 21. They both sound about the same. There was a Ghost line that they had that was lathed about 5 inches, and then the rest was just hammered.
Ooh, I love that. Yeah.
Dude, they got lines like that all over the place.
Know. There's so many fucking sick cymbals, dude.
I know.
I had a full set.
That's a rabbit hole when you go down that.
I know. And that's why I've almost like had to like just limit myself to Zildjian in a way, because it's like there's so much and like I can't keep up, and they're out of control, expensive now. But back in the day, we had, me and my brother, when we were kind of like sharing a kit, we had a full set of Sabian hand hammers.
Wow,
which was,
there's some money.
It's a long story. We got insurance money from a house fire for the cymbals. So that's how we got them.
Yeah. Those were my favorite line. Always my favorite line.
But not the best thing for like, especially at that time.
Not for
like,
heavy or hard rock. No.
We're like Dave Grohl guys. So we're like beating the fuck out of these things, right? And they all fucking cracked.
Yep.
Little cracks around all the edges.
Yep.
Fuck Pro Tools, goddammit. I think we might have lost about 5 minutes of conversation about cymbals that nobody wanted to hear. But
there's some drummer out there going, dude. Yeah, he gave us the bruh.
Our shit crashed for a minute there. Sorry, but anyway, that I was just saying that that was very fun. Especially I was 19 years old, so it was like,
made you feel like the big pro that picks
catalog.
Pick whatever, dude. Welcome to the big leagues.
Yeah. That was fun. But yeah, I've been basically a Zildjian guy ever since then, and like I love the A customs, and I also love A's, but like I don't know, I kind of had to just pick a route. And
when I started playing the Brilliant Finish cymbals, that was like I could never go back.
Yeah.
Like, and the AP series from Arborea, they're just like that, and it's like they'll never be like super shiny like the Dragons.
Yeah.
And that's kind of why I lean towards the Dragons. I've always I
love shiny.
I love them. They look great. They're easy to clean. That was the thing that I loved about them the most.
They sound good too.
They do.
Yeah. I don't know.
I got no problem with them.
And being a Neil Peart guy, he was always about that. And
for sure.
The A customs, and then he switched to his Sabian signature stuff, which was like kind of their version of that or whatever. But and I want to talk to you a little bit more about that, and then we'll get off drums for a minute. What are you using for heads on your toms specifically?
I'm using the Evans. Yeah, it's not a 2-ply. I think God, my kid knows all my tech stuff because he takes care of all of that. But I mean, I switched over to Evans heads some years ago. I was playing Remo. I was a Remo guy, of course, because again, let's go back to that dude.
Yeah, I'm a Remo guy too. In general.
Yeah,
Evans is great too.
I love Evans. I went to Aquarian for a little while.
I use an Aquarian kick drum head. The
super kicks.
Too,
yeah,
yeah. Can't beat that. Fucker.
They were the most durable head I ever played.
Yeah.
And then somebody said Attack.
Sound great.
My buddy Ronnie Lee Pasquale, he plays Attack drum heads, and he says that they're right on par with Aquarian. And then a friend of mine said, "Dude, man, Evans." Yeah. I don't really, and they're like, once you go Evans, you'll never go back. No, I play clear
on their toms.
I play clear
because I thought your tom sounded fucking great too. So I mean, that's another thing that's why I'm talking about, because your kit sounds fucking good.
Yeah,
and like. Again, I see a lot of bands and whatever, and I'm just like, hey, just tune your fucking kit up a little bit.
Yeah.
Like,
oh my God.
It doesn't take a lot.
I mean, if you bring a great sounding kit to the stage, the sound guy's like, oh,
yeah, you don't really got to do anything to it. Yeah.
If anything, it's like, all right, they're ringing a little bit. It's like, yeah, I know, I tuned them that way. Yeah. I don't put I don't bring my guitar on stage and then stuff it full of, like toilet paper. You know what I mean?
But yours are they're not too open. And that's the thing that you fight a little bit with these DWs.
Absolutely.
Sometimes they're super fucking open and shit.
They're totally resonant. Yeah.
Super resonant. Yeah. So like,
what do you put on your heads for dampening?
Nothing.
Yeah. See, I try not to, but those floor toms got to floor toms got to ring.
Well, but
they got to ring like crazy.
The acrylics though are less. They're just by their nature are a little more subdued. So that's what I fucking love these toms. I can't get over how much I love these toms.
Yeah.
The toms on the old kit that sound incredible, but they're like, dude, they're fucking like they're loud. They're great, but like Jesus Christ, like I always think about like recording them. It's like it's a lot. There's a reason why fucking like these studio guys love Yamahas and Pearls
for sure.
and shit. You know what I mean? Because
warm and controllable.
Yeah. Where these DW, that's what DWs are by their nature. Is they're trying to be the most resonant, perfectly made.
Right.
Like no drill holes in them or anything. Whatever they're doing. That's their whole shtick.
Yeah.
And like. It's like you lean into that being like, oh, that's the greatest drum ever. Yeah, okay. And now you're trying to like mic it up, and it's like, Jesus Christ, you can't even. You hit one drum and you hear every other drum ring.
Half a roll of duct tape on these.
Yeah, it's crazy. But the acrylics are definitely better about that. But I was definitely. I'm not trying to fucking. But I was impressed with the way your kit sounds.
Yeah,
and that's why I'm just like, this fucking guy knows his fucking business.
Yeah, I mean, years of figuring it out and being in the studio and those guys telling you what they want, and after a while you just kind of get it. If you don't get it, then you better find a guy that knows how to deal with it.
Right.
Actually, a long time ago, when I was in a band called Coda, our manager's brother couldn't play a lick of drums, couldn't play a drum to save his life. Rob Grabowski is his name, and he goes, do you mind if I like tinker with with the drumming a little bit? And I was like, I like, you know what, I was just like, sure. I mean, you can't. I go, don't go crazy.
Yeah.
And I came back to do sound check, and
this sounded great. Isn't that weird how there's those guys that can like tech?
Dude, he was like a savant. He's like he's like the handyman to end all handymans. I mean, that guy can do everything. Yeah. And so I got so spoiled by this cat that I would do before sound check, I'd be like, Rob.
Yeah.
The kit's set up, because he could barely set it up because he's not a drummer, so he doesn't know where things go quite yet. He could get it kind of there, so I would get it there, and then I would leave, and he would tune it. And the guy could. I mean,
yeah. There's a lot of guitar techs like that too.
Crazy.
That are not good at guitar, but can fucking like
Vinnie Paul had a guy that couldn't play drums at all, but he was like his main drum tech, and I'm like. What? You know what I mean? You would trust this guy? It's like,
weird.
Yeah, but here's why. I tell this guy what to do.
Yeah.
He doesn't go,
doesn't have any other preconceived.
But I'm a drummer and I would do it this way. No, he does it the one way. Yeah. Because he doesn't know any other way.
Right.
That's what worked with Rob. Because Rob, God, I mean, honestly, dude, I would go up and it boom, boom. I was like, are you tuning them to thirds or fifths or what? I mean, like, dude, they sound, he's like, it sounded good. I'm like, yeah. dude, they sound amazing. You know, it's like, I will start paying you now. You know, we never paid him, but
yeah, dude. Yeah, I will theoretically pay you.
Yeah, we paid you. You got drunk.
You what, when we start getting paid,
yeah, exactly. Tell you what, when I take a check, you get a check.
Yeah, so all right, man. Well, your fucking kit is badass. I wanted to talk to you about it as I talked to you at that show. I was like, dude, I got to go up, and I literally went up on stage and went behind your kit because I'm like, you know, I love drums, man. I want to see what you're playing, what you're using, you know, the gear, the heads, all that shit. Because like, you know, I'm hard on drummers, dude, and it's like when I hear a kid, I'm like, okay, this guy's fucking tuning his shit for real. Right. Nice. So.
I always appreciate that. I love it. I always make a point to do the same thing.
Yeah.
I always find that guy.
Yeah.
And like, dude, wow. Yeah. I mean, just wow. Like we played with, you know, Puscifer, and we did with Battlecross, the original guy, Michael Krager, and I didn't even know what to expect with this cat, and he was backstage, like the whole time warming up, like he wasn't out partying. He wasn't out doing any handshaking or nothing. He sat back there and just worked. And then when he came up on stage, he was just I mean, everything was blurry. He was so machine-like.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I always told him, I said, I will never, ever forget the work ethic that I saw you put in. You're just playing it. It's just another show. It's not another show for him. Mm-hmm. Every show, you know, he felt deserved that kind of prep work, and it showed. I go, man, you killed me tonight. He goes, dude, man, you're playing all that stuff. I go, dude, I sat side stage with my mouth just hanging open, watching you just fly through these blast beats, and I'm not a blast beat guy. I can't blast beat to save my life, but watching somebody execute those, wow, dude. Yeah, I mean, hands down.
Right.
I'm not even going to try it because I'll never be like that, you know?
Right, yeah. Yeah, and you and I have very similar, I think it's probably very similar influences.
Yeah,
and everything,
for sure.
That's why I like watching play. I'm like, oh, this guy's doing a lot of the same shit I like to do.
Right.
You know, hair tuss and the way you're going, the way you're putting fills together, and putting parts together and shit. I'm like, it's not only the kind of drumming I like to do, but it's the kind of drumming I like to hear. And, you know, so, like, it's always a fucking...
for sure, man.
Pleasure to fucking... All right, let's take another break. Get maybe one more drink, and then maybe we'll do a little comedy.
Oh, please. I want the comedy.
You know, man, it's been a long week.
Sure has.
I just have not been able to keep up on what's happening in the world lately.
A lot of things in the hopper, pretty difficult.
Doesn't it seem like things are crazy?
Sometimes.
It just feels like you just can't get a handle on what's happening in the world.
Well, let's maybe do a little something to educate and entertain the masses. What do you think there, guy?
Yeah. Can we do something like that? All right.
Let's see what we got here.
All right. Yeah.
Dangerville Podcast presents News of the World.
Good to have that back.
Finally worked.
I noticed your lazy ass also didn't edit in the sound for last week.
It was way funnier without it. That shit hasn't worked. This new setup. I'm working on it, goddammit. It's put a lot of work into this fucking spot. You fucks. All right.
Busting your ass night and day and breaking your balls regardless.
All right. You going ahead? Go ahead, because I'm back, baby.
Back strong. All right.
Coming with material.
I'm going to kick it off. I'm going to start with one of the joint ones. I know we both saw this. So first up on the docket, we've got claim of mammoth bones brings treasure hunters to the NYC River. So several groups of treasure hunters have taken to the waterway in recent weeks after hearing a guest on Joe Rogan's podcast claim a boxcar's worth of valuable prehistoric mammoth bones was dumped into the river. A misunderstanding over the nature of the story has also brought Kim Kardashian to New York, as she is still currently on the hunt to replace the mammoth bone she lost after breaking up with ex-boyfriend Pete Davidson. And this one's just for me. With an entire boxcar worth of bones, the river is now one of the few places in the world that can lay claim to having more old fossils than an old country buffet early bird special. Wanted to get that one in there. I love that.
That was a nice. Yeah, I like that one.
I had the same Kim Kardashian joke.
There's only one route to go with that.
Yeah, yours is a little.
What's your version there, guy?
Mine was a little simpler. Yours is a little better. Mine was just after hearing about the possibility of getting a mammoth bone, Kim Kardashian was also spotted on scene. That's all it was. Just
feeling the loss, was she?
Same joke.
You gotta love that the first and only place both had went to is like,
Kim Kardashian.
slap for Kim if I've ever heard one.
She's never out of the news. Never.
All right, I'm coming with Brendan Fraser.
Oh.
Our man has tearfully accepted the Critics' Choice Award for Best Actor.
Wow.
Did you guys see this?
I did not see this.
A tearful Brendan Fraser accepted Best Actor for The Whale at the Critics' Choice Award last Sunday night, thanking director Darren Aronofsky for casting him in the critically lauded role. Fraser said, "I was in the wilderness, but you found me."
Wow. Intense.
Aronofsky replied, "It wasn't hard to find you, you fat bastard. I could see you from my house."
Indeed.
Oh,
The elusive self-rim shot. You gotta love it.
wow. I was not prepared for that.
Oh, yeah. You're not prepared for the whole soundboard. We got all kinds of sound clips here, man.
Yowza.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Can never go wrong with the Brendan Fraser joke.
No,
All right.
no.
So, Swedish government moves to get rid of permits needed for dancing. Did you see this?
I did.
You hear
I
about
saw
this?
that. Uh-huh.
Sweden's coalition government is looking to abolish a decade-old requirement that forced venues to obtain permits to allow dancing. However, in an effort to preserve the nation's dignity, the ban on white patrons dancing remains.
Wow.
Well, you know, keep it classy.
Nice, Sweden. Nice. I didn't actually write anything on that, but I was gonna do something about like I don't know. There's a bunch of shit about cutting a rug and like all these different terms for dancing. You know, like. All right, this one I don't even have it. I literally didn't write any jokes for this. This is just so preposterous. I'm just gonna basically read you the story. Burglars call 911 to get help moving.
Yes,
stuff.
dude, I read this 3 times. Somehow I couldn't come up with anything for it, but I was like, it's too
funny
good.
as
It's
it
too
is.
good
Like,
on its own. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
2 people in Polk County, Florida were arrested after one of them made a 911 call to get help with moving belongings from a home they were burglarizing.
Yes. Of course, this was in fucking Florida, to be clear. Like, where else? Yeah.
The bath salt capital of the world.
For real. So, talking to deputies, the female suspect told them she had called 911 for the purpose of helping them move the items they were burglarizing. They also wanted to get a ride to the airport so they could spend the weekend in New York, the sheriff's office said. So, the actual sheriff's office in Polk County, Florida, put a Facebook post up about this that said, this is like a quote from their Facebook. It said, "Deputies did help them with their belongings and did give them a ride, but it wasn't to the airport.
Yeah, right.
It was to the Polky."
Oh, God.
I know. Right? They're really leaning into it.
You gotta love the police getting the zingers in there, dude.
And then he said, and they were welcome to stay there as long as they wanted. And the Polky is much better than New York anyway.
No, absolutely.
That's what it said.
You gotta love that they had the good sense to want to get the hell out of Florida. They're
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
We're risking life and limb here. We're
And you
risking
gotta love
imprisonment.
the Floridians taking a shot at NYC. You know, why not?
This is a glorious new trend of cops just breaking balls
Yeah,
on
they
the
really
local
are.
police
Why
Facebook
not?
page. They got some hilarious fucker back there just breaking out zingers. I love it, dude.
Yeah, that's gold.
All right. And sticking with some police-related news, this one's so bad, but I couldn't nix it. Couldn't bring myself to do it. Police investigate after Dallas Zoo missing leopard is found. A criminal investigation has been opened as evidence was found that the fence to the animal's habitat was intentionally cut. This particular leopard was extremely rare, as it's currently the only mammal in Texas having more spots than Ron White's liver.
You are correct, sir.
The attempted theft was the most shameful and poorly executed act to take place at a wildlife sanctuary since Matt Damon's We Bought a Zoo. It
What?
stings.
I've never heard of that. What is that?
That movie.
Precisely.
Yeah, exactly. And nor should you.
They got.
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
Oh,
That's good material, dude. Bring my balls through the lack of Matt Damon knowledge. So. Pretty. You say so
I was
myself.
gonna get in a war over the goddamn soundboard.
It's Matt Damon
Yeah, I know.
buys a zoo, you know.
Well, you did tell me I was going to hear a lot of them.
They didn't exactly get their finest marketing minds on that title.
No,
I don't know. How
no.
about something like We Bought a Zoo?
Yeah, I
You
don't
guys
know.
the afternoon to think about it. But.
I'm gonna have a heart attack. I've never heard of this.
Blame the burners.
All right. Which, by the way, I don't know where my drink is crucially way over there. I know.
It's a
Fucked
shame.
Up. All right. Sticking with an animal theme here. New York City mayor has been ticketed for rodents at his property again.
Oh, saw that. Yeah.
You see this? New York City Mayor Eric Adams vowed Wednesday to fight his own city hall again after he was ticketed for rats at his Brooklyn townhouse. Mayor Adams called the ticketing a slap in the face to his honored dinner guest, Master Splinter, especially after all he's done for New York. You are all my sons.
Cowabunga, dude.
Top it off with that.
Oh, Lord. Master Splinter.
Oh, man. Yeah, I was going to do something on that, but it's felt a little too shameless.
He's having
and
dinner with the mayor.
gratuitous.
Come on. How are you not going to invite Master Splinter over for dinner?
Come on, man.
All right, so we're going to go for the animal trifecta right here. The elusive animal trifecta. Oh, God.
Now I'm
I was
scared.
going to sprinkle this one in earlier, and I held off. All right. Whale found dead in New Jersey. Likely
So
struck.
this is going.
Brendan Fraser was in New Jersey.
We got a real turn on this one. Just brace yourself. You have no idea where this one is going. Just wait for it. Likely struck by a vessel. So preliminary results of the examination indicated blunt force trauma may have played a part. The results were inconclusive, and many speculate that type 2 diabetes was the far more likely cause of death for, you guessed it, Brendan Fraser. Oh. Doubling down on that beef Fraser material. Pretty good. Brendan Fraser sits with Oscar in hand, shedding a single tear right now.
Dual Brendan Fraser, triple animal trifecta.
These cocksuckers at Dangerville this morning.
Wow. You
It's
guys.
been Brendan Fraser for weeks now, dude.
It's an
Nothing but
unrelenting
Brendan
beatdown on
Fraser
beef
jokes.
Fraser. Yeah.
All right, we're going for more animal material, though. We're not done here.
Why
yet.
not?
I got more. All right, you ready? Birders flock to Kentucky to see the rare pink-footed goose.
Yeah, saw this.
Birders from as far away as Wisconsin traveled to central Kentucky last week in the hopes of seeing the rare pink-footed goose. Unfortunately, most didn't see the bird and left disappointed, calling the whole ordeal a wild goose chase.
Oh. I literally the same one cooked up, and I was like, no.
It's so stupid. It's so obvious.
Wow.
There was also a goose's cooked in there.
Oh, yeah.
Joke, yeah.
Oh,
Goose
yeah.
material for days. All right. So I'm gonna defer to you to this one. Do you have something on a little Ben Savage? Did I hear a little Ben Savage?
No,
material
I
cooked
sent
up?
it to you because I
Okay.
had nothing on it.
All right.
I had nothing on it.
All right. So we'll go with this lackluster joke right here. Some deep cut knowledge. Brace yourself. Ben Savage runs for Congress potentially. So many are questioning Savage's viability as a candidate after scathing remarks made by Mr. Feeney, including multiple accusations of dishonesty and failing to follow through on promises made to his constituents during a bid for class president in 1995 during his time at John Adams High School, before later ceding the race to fellow candidate Topanga Lawrence. Not really a joke, just some extremely deep cut season 2 Boy Meets World material.
Yeah.
Wow.
To the disappointment of the masses, but I had to be done, guys.
Well, you know.
Something had to be said.
I was telling you, I was trying to cook up something about Topanga County or whatever is in California. It's like right next to where he's running for Congress, but I couldn't deliver on the joke. I had nothing. Well, what I do have is
I got nothing.
Are you ready for this one? Missing on a crucial material. God damn it. Fucking Pro Tools. I don't know what the deal is with that. It hasn't crashed in a long time, but I do got a new system running here, so fuck you, Pro Tools. All right. I'm doing it again.
There goes that Pro Tools endorsement right out the window.
Yeah, we had him lined up for a sponsorship, too.
Yeah.
Tens of thousands of dollars on the line.
It's me. I can't get endorsements anywhere. It's my fault.
Fucking A, god damn it. Shit. All right. A Northern California statue of meatpacking magnate was beheaded. Did you guys hear this? Have you heard this?
Yeah, well, yeah.
No,
You heard
this is
about this? at all?
brand new information
Recently.
as of this second. No.
Weird, right?
Crazy.
The statue of a 19th century Northern California rancher and meatpacking magnate, which, by the way, what else do you want to be?
Yeah.
Is that what I said?
I've been wanting to pack meat for years.
He was decapitated earlier this week. Authorities have put out an APB for Jimbo, Kearney, Nelson Muntz, and of course Bart Simpson,
Yes.
who were all suspected to have had a hand in the incident.
Really nailed it the second time
You
around.
remember
there.
that? You're a Simpsons fan. You remember
Oh my God.
Bart cutting off the head of the statue?
Jesus.
That's some early Simpsons too,
Yeah.
right? Like season 3-ish,
I don't know.
Man.
But yeah, that's a classic Simpsons episode where he cuts the head off. All right, that's all I got. You got more news?
Got one more here. I hate to end on a somber note, but in a bit of sad news, Lisa Marie Presley, daughter of Elvis Presley, has passed away at the age of 54.
Holy shit, I didn't hear that.
Yeah, true
Wow.
story. Pour one out for Lisa Marie Presley.
Yeah.
Mother Priscilla addressed the media, saying the family is absolutely crushed by the tragic loss of a fantastic daughter and a loving mother. We are all in a state of mourning. We are all devastated. We are all shook up. And that, ladies and gentlemen, has been
The Dangerville podcast presents News of the World.
We're all shook up. Jesus
Too soon.
Yeah.
Christ.
Too soon on Lisa Marie. there?
speaking
Don't be
of-
cruel about that. I mean, really.
Hey now.
I was debating on how far down the list. We had one way back in the day when James Hetfield was getting divorced. It was a 20-minute laundry list of Metallica songs. I was like, oh, man.
Yeah. Now it's starting to seem like an ISD practice right about now. Like, how far can we take this?
So what are your thoughts? Are you entertained? Are you informed now? Is that
I feel more in the
an
loop.
amazing use of your time? I
I
imagine?
feel socially aware.
Yeah.
More so than I did when I first came here.
Did you
Which-
guys hear David Crosby died today, too?
Really?
David Crosby.
And again, there's a fellow that took immaculate care of himself. I'm astounded that he passed away. I really don't know how someone who is like Jack LaLanne died or something. You know what I mean? How does that even happen with somebody like that?
And
So speaking of,
I mean, wow, how does really? I was stunned.
his mustache was 64.
Yeah. His liver was 132. Thank you very much.
well played. Well
3
played.
shows a night.
All right, so keeping on the topic of fitness here, you were talking a little bit about before we got started that
Oh,
you
boy.
recently rocked the Olympic triathlon in
Yeah.
Grand Rapids not too far back.
Well, you know, it's funny. I was like, my wife was a runner. Well, she's still a runner, but she got into running, and then I got into running to hang out with her more because she was always running, and and I figured there's got to be something to this. So I started running, and I was in my 40s already. I had been like kind of athletic throughout high school and whatnot, and then as you know, you get in your 30s, I was doing rock and roll forever, but I did all the drug stuff in my 20s and 30s and all that stuff, and I kind of grew out of it. And then I thought, you know, she's taking care of herself, I should take care of myself. So I got into running, and then a friend of mine, Jennifer Marshall, she's like my wife. We joke, she calls her my workout wife because we spend so much time together hanging out. She got me into triathlons because she belonged to a triathlon group, and silly enough, I'm like, oh, well, yeah, that sounds like fun, and it's not. It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of training. It's a complete pain in the ass. But I ended up doing it as, if anything, just to keep myself accountable.
Sure.
I mean, I'm older now. I'm in my late 50s, and my kids are, you know, my oldest is 21, my youngest is 19, and I want to be around a long time for them. And I had kids late. I got married when I was 35. I didn't have kids until a couple years after that. So I knew that, you know, all my friends, I mean, their kids were already graduating, and I'm like, shit, man, I just had kids, you know? So, and just try to keep better care of myself. And then the music that I play and you know,
Yeah.
it's I remember reading a story a couple of years back, and they were like, playing drums, a rock and roll concert. The drummer is like, it's comparable to, like a soccer game or like some, mammoth amount of thing. And I'm like, well, you know what? The only way for me to continue to do what I do, and to be proficient and not feel like I'm winded or I don't have enough energy to do this, and the kind of music that we play, and it takes a lot of energy to do it, and I want to be able to do it for as long as possible. So I figured, I don't do triathlons anymore. I did a couple of half Ironmans. I did, and I was out here and did, I've done a handful of shorter ones, some sprint triathlons. I've done one Olympic triathlon and 2 half Ironmans, and I've run a handful of half marathons. It sounds like I just do everything halfway. It's like I look over my athletic career, and it's like, you're really a half-ass,
You've got that
way to go about it.
or a 13.1 sticker on the back instead of the full 26.
I did have that. A wonderful friend of mine got me that, and it was a magnet, and I lost it somewhere. I should have just got the sticker and just, I'm one of those anal retard guys that sorry, I shouldn't say anal or retard, but whatever.
You just demonetized this entire podcast right
I lost a good 3% of your crowd right there. In
fairness, our entire crowd is based purely on retard friends for the most part, so you're good.
But so I had that. My wife actually just signed us up for another half marathon, so we'll see how that goes. But in Traverse City, so that should be fun. But anyway, all that being said, it's like I have a Rock and Roll Rebels group in Facebook that's just dedicated to fitness, and I'm not a fitness guru. I don't have any degrees or anything like that. But it was only it was a way to keep myself accountable, and then if I can help some cat get off the couch and do something, and or if I can inspire somebody to do anything, I don't care what you do. If you got out and walked your dog because you saw what I posted, then there's the victory.
It's so funny because you don't need to kill yourself to get the benefit, right?
Not
there's
at
a
all.
difference between being super jack guy, but just getting off your ass.
I'm not going to show you.
Your fucking body does so much good.
I'm not going to do videos in the gym, and I'm not going to do. I built a gym in my basement so I could take care of myself. And again, you can go to Planet Fitness, or you can go to anywhere and take better care of yourself. You can just eat better and take better care of yourself. You can get more sleep and take better care of yourself. I still play rock and roll drums. I still like hanging out with my buds. I still like having a good drink here and now. I'm not saying that I'm that guy. You know what I mean? I'm not I only eat, I'm vegan and I'm this and that, and I can't wait to tell you about how vegan I am. And, because a lot of those guys are all about that, and God bless them.
Yeah.
Again, we were talking earlier. I'm not about the negative side of life anymore. I'm not going to sit here and tell you what I don't like. That's not important. What you don't like is not important. Nobody gives a shit about what you don't like. Tell somebody about what you do like. Get somebody excited about what you enjoy. Talk to people who have similar interests in with what you like, but don't concentrate on the negative. There's so much wasted breath.
Sure.
So much wasted breath and wasted time. And politics was the greatest thing ever. The last couple of presidents have made it so easy for me to literally disengage myself from politics.
Dude, that did. I think a lot of people did. I'm just like, I'm done. I won't
even talk to somebody. I won't even engage my coworkers. I see every day,
and you can't. There's no way to even have a civil conversation about it
anymore. Because all it's going to do is it's going to create an argument. I'm going to say something you don't like. You're going to say something I don't like, and we're not going to have a good day.
Yep.
And why ruin a good day with that?
Yep.
Don't lend people money. Don't lend friends money. Don't lend family money. Lend a stranger money. That way you never have to worry about seeing it again. It's never a thing. Don't talk politics.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Just leave it be.
It's a good rule of thumb.
Vote your conscience. Walk away. Don't put a sticker on the back of your truck who you vote for. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah. Same, dude.
Totally don't give a fucking rat's ass who you vote for. There is no right or wrong guy. They're all fucking crooked.
And if you are going to put a sticker on the back of your truck, get it off at an appropriate time.
Absolutely.
I see some fucker rolling around.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
Or 1991,
2008.
Come on, man.
Get an ISD
the ship
sticker.
sailed on
I
that
got a
one,
bunch
bro.
of ISD stickers you can cover up your old fucking political fucking bullshit with. But that's about it. So I just want to. I want to be around as long as I can. My father-in-law passed away recently. I know so many people, so many young people, and now I'm at the age where people younger than me are passing away, and it doesn't. I don't play that game where it really makes me think. No, man, I already did the thinking. Yeah. Now I'm doing. I have to be doing, and being in a band and again, when I was telling you I was playing all these cover bands and stuff like that. A lot of people think on social media that I have a thing against cover bands or I have a thing against tribute bands or any of that stuff. I don't have a thing against anybody. I just prefer to play in original projects. I prefer to spend all of my energy on an original project because I don't want to spend hours learning somebody else's stuff.
It's already been done. Why do it again?
Literally.
Yeah.
The fact that you're doing it means that it's already been done. I would be so stoked if somebody sent me a video of them playing my song, because that's what it's all about. I mean, I spent my whole we cut our teeth on learning other people's music.
For sure.
And then you create your own voice and your own sound. And then you just, man, right off into the sunset. You know what I mean?
So did you notice, like you mentioned the fitness thing, did you notice it helping your playing after you kind of got into that regimen?
I guarantee it did, dude.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. Especially as I got older and knowing that I couldn't bounce back like I used to, like the good old days when we used to like play and then you'd party until you wouldn't stop. You'd just play you'd party till the next gig and you just had all that energy. Well, now you're grown, you're older, your body doesn't bounce back like it used to. You have to be smart.
You got to stay in motion, man. When you start to get stagnant and just sit around, like I'm not an especially old guy, but it's just like it doesn't take long for the body to start going, well, if you're not going to do shit with me, I don't need to do shit for you.
A solid gig, a hard played gig the next day.
Yeah.
Feel like a truck ran you over.
Yeah, man.
Back in the day, man, you didn't feel that. You didn't feel it at all.
Drumming's fucking hard.
It is.
It's fucking hard, and like you're playing intense prog rock music. The songs you're playing are 9 minutes long with intense fucking.
It's mentally exhausting.
Yeah,
it's not just physically exhausting. It's mentally exhausting.
Right.
Like you're wiped out. And then you get done and you want to have your good time with your friends. Now there's guys that I know that are a little bit older. They've cut down on their partying, and that's cool too. You got to do that, but or you don't. I'm not telling anybody what to do or what not to do, but I know that I want to be effective.
Yeah.
And I want to be relevant.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to go out into the sunset playing tribute to somebody else. I'm not going to go out in the sunset playing in the corner bar. Although, hey, man, maybe I will. Yeah. Maybe when it's all said and done, I'll be the old guy in the corner playing those, old Dream Theater tunes to people that didn't care then and don't care now.
I was kind of like, for the activity, I always think about it like a bank account in a way, right? And like, I've taken more than my fair share of deposits over the years, going back to the alcohol and stuff thing. And
you
it's
gotta
like,
pay
man,
it back
at some point you got to do something to kind of balance that out, put a couple bucks in the account so you don't fucking cash out too soon.
And again, I don't want to, these people that when they're in poor health and you can clearly see that they didn't take good care of themselves, and I don't want to go out like that.
Yeah, man.
Okay, my other question: how did you go about training for a triathlon? Because you got the different elements,
Google,
and it's so you can do any one of those things, right? Like you can go for a jog, and hop on the bike, and you can go for a swim,
go to the gym and swim,
but it's very different. Like even if you go for a run after a bike or vice versa, your muscles are just like, oh, I'm fucked right now. And then you throw in the element of swimming. Like how the fuck do you get ready for that? And
it's funny. It's when you look at the program, like when they have a training program for the half Ironman. And that was the only one that I really, really followed. And it was like, it's a 16-week program. So first of all, you're looking at 4 months of...
My calculations are correct. That's approximately a shitload of weeks in that training program.
Yeah, that's like 3.5 to 4 months of nothing but training. And it ramps up. So it starts you off mellow and then it gets going. And then if you're going to be effective, you want to be able to do this stuff outdoors. You're not racing inside a gym or you're not racing... so you need to be able to do this stuff. Open water swimming is completely different than lap pool swimming.
100%.
Yeah. Running on a treadmill is completely different than running hills out in the real world. Riding a stationary bike is literally night and day from riding where you got to ride. So So at some point, you have to do all of this training in real world conditions. And the reason that I don't do them anymore, and not, I did what I wanted to do. It was kind of like, like in my head, it's a bucket list thing. I want to challenge myself and see if I can do this. And in doing it a couple of times, it just was like, that's all I needed. I don't need to, I'm not an athlete. Well, I guess I am, but I'm not one to go, listen, this is so important that I need to go all the way with it. I need to do a full Ironman, or I need to do one of these ultra events where you run 50 miles or anything like that. All I wanted to do was to do this in order to keep an accountability factor and a level of fitness so that I could keep playing music.
Right, just keep going.
And just be really, really effective.
Yeah.
It's funny because a friend of mine, she's like a rock and roll chick, and she knows all these people, and she was like, I signed up for, I backed out of it, but I signed up for the Florida Half Ironman, and she goes, Blas Elias from Slaughter, the drummer from Slaughter. She goes, he does that race all the time. I'm like,
nice.
What? And in my head, I'm thinking, I'm a better drummer than he is. Like I need to be a better triathlete than him. And then that's a drummer's mindset, though. Because like he said, when you see those memes where the guy's like in the crowd, he's got this frown on his face, it's like that's the drummer's greatest compliment. Is when some other drummers in the crowd like scolding look on his face, like, yeah, you suck, you're better than me. We got to find a way to cut you down. So when I heard that Blast, did triathlons, I was like, well, I wonder how fast he is. And I'm like, no. So really all of it, you just, I didn't realize how bad I swam until I had to swim. And then I took pointers from some people, and they taught me how to swim right. I had run for a while, so I knew how to run. But putting it all together was, God,
it's got to be a bear, man. I can't even imagine.
It's a lot.
Yeah, indeed.
It's a lot, and I'm not unhappy that I'm not signed up for one, and that I'm not looking to do it
now and stuff, right? And
Yep. Just, I do my cardio. I run and I ride. Yeah. I don't like swimming. I've never really been even a big swim fan, but it's a great workout.
Yeah,
oh my God, it's a great workout.
I love.
I wish I was good at it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If I was like just good at it, I'd do it all the time.
Yeah.
Because I'll tell you what, when I was in the meat of training, I was never more proud of being able to swim like 1.4 miles open water. Like just bop out into the lake and just swim that far. And that's only a half Ironman. Man, that's not easy.
It's a whole different animal out there.
I'm telling you, dude.
The currents and
my
everything.
panic,
fucking punishing.
Yeah, waves, can't breathe, doesn't matter. You're swimming, dude. You know, it's like, I'm losing my brain out there,
Yep.
You fight through it. You learn about yourself, what you can do, what you can't do. And again, I've watched way too many of these self-help gurus and these guys that push through the heart of whatever.
Run 35 miles, motherfucker.
Again, that guy is great for what he is, and he inspires the living shit out of a bunch of people, and that's great. But that guy wouldn't do fuck for me.
Yeah.
Because I am not into that.
Yeah.
It's a whole different
He's not
world
going to yell at me while I'm
in.
trying to hammer out the 7/8 pattern and go, dude, what motherfucker's wrong with you, man? I fucking play that shit fucking left-handed, Your
more squats, son.
Yeah. You got to do more squats, son. What's wrong with you? It's like, because I'm a musician and you're a terrorist, in my head right now. But yeah. So, again, everything is a means to an end. And if it makes you happy and you're not hurting anybody, I'm of that guy now.
Right,
I'm just like, do your thing, do what makes you happy. Don't hurt anybody. Don't enforce your views on anybody.
No, I think it's fucking badass that you're fucking working out all the time, dude. So like,
57 years old, trying to keep it real,
You're crushing it. You look great.
Yeah.
Fucking, he and I both got into fitness 2 years ago. I was fucking jacked. Now I put the weight back on. Not like I'm like huge or nothing, but like we both got into fitness, and during lockdown, a lot of people did or whatever. So like, I don't know. Like currently my weight bench is in the garage, not set up, you know. After
but
the
dude,
move
you
and
got.
stuff.
I think it's been a lot more Crown and Verners for us both than squats and benches the last few months.
It's coming back, goddammit. I got the ellipticals in.
I'm
and
working
set
on this
up.
curl right about now. Like,
So no, man, it's fucking. I think it's mad respect that you're fucking still crushing it on that.
Thank you, man.
Still fucking
Thank you.
playing. I love that. I love the fact that you're fucking. Like you're saying, you're getting a little older or whatever, but you're still playing, still dominating on the drums.
Yeah.
Playing in a sick original rock band, working out, fucking taking names, kicking ass, man. I
Thanks,
fucking
brother.
think it's badass.
I appreciate
dude.
it.
Yeah, hell yeah, man. And I appreciate you coming out here.
yeah.
It was
It was
fucking
my
huge.
pleasure, dude. I had a
Yeah.
lot of fun. Absolutely.
Me too. I
Yeah,
know you got to
Yeah.
get out of here. I would literally probably sit here and talk to you. all
I
night,
know,
so.
I know. My wife's probably like, "You still talking?" Because she knows I can talk.
We're talking about drum heads.
Yeah,
All right,
I know.
Listen, drum
Come
heads.
on, it's never over.
So, you got any? You guys got gigs coming up? You got another gig?
You
wanna
know what?
promote
We've
here?
got some stuff coming up, but we promised that we wouldn't say anything in lieu of the bands that are putting it together. We told they would be allowed to do the big reveals and
okay.
all that stuff. So we're going to start writing a new album. We've got a couple of projects that we're thinking of. We got this
Yeah.
cover album that we that it's conceptual, but we think people are really going to get a kick out of it. And then Tony's been writing his butt off, and we've got some great new stuff. And I'm sure he'll tell you about in a couple of weeks.
Yep.
And you'll get a better idea what's going on with that. But the Imminent Sonic Destruction stuff, this last album has been amazing. The reviews have been amazing. I think we're really able to take the kind of stuff that we do, and we're starting to really make it like its own thing. Like I don't think we're worried about being compared to anybody anymore. We're really, really fine tuning it. And I think even the new music ideas that Tony's been bringing to the table that we've been able to listen to, I think we're pretty excited to even what that stuff can be.
The sun is always set or will always set. Whatever.
Yeah.
Sorry, whatever it's called. That's been stuck in my head like from seeing you guys play.
Yeah.
It's been in my head.
Yeah, it really it's resonating with people.
good
And the
song.
video, wow, the video, dude.
That video's the best part.
The video
Fuck
is
that song. The video's phenomenal, dude. I don't know.
Who
I don't
produced
know
that video?
I
out
don't
of
know who's behind that
curiosity?
video, but I'm gonna tell you something right now. Genius, mad skills on the video. It's easily my favorite I'm not in it video that I've ever. I'll have to work with the producer on that one next time and see if we can get a little bit
Can a
more.
brother
mean.
get some FaceTime for God's sakes? Come on, man.
I mean,
Can I get some
motherfucker,
shine over here, son? Like, what's up? What's going on, dude? What's up?
It's brilliant. It's easily my favorite video because I'm not in it. Because but whatever. It's cool. It's brilliant. And the reaction from the album,
video,
great song, great video,
great album. I'm a big
Yeah.
fan of it. Nick's like my best friend, and he crushed it on the production for you guys. I was super I don't know, it sounds dumb, but I was really proud of him on his fucking work that he did on it.
Absolutely.
For you guys,
so are we.
It's fucking great. Yeah.
So are we. We're looking forward to working with him on the next one.
Yeah.
This will be the first time that we double down.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We worked with Roy Z on the first one and Nick Morris on the second one, and we feel that Nick Hagan. I think we finally got a guy that really understands what we want.
Yeah.
And that's what
Nick
you
and
want
I
to
got
do.
big plans for this space we're building here.
Yeah.
So,
All right,
we're
cool, brother.
So it's coming. So
Sweet.
All right, man. I'll let you get out of here.
Thank you, sir.
Fucking appreciate you coming on, bro.
My pleasure, brother.
Hell
Nice
yeah.
to meet you both,
Travels
man,
back
for
home,
sure.
life,
You got it. You got it.
Peace out.
Peace.